Order in the court. Just a robot. What is your reasoning for standing before the court today? Well, Your Honor, I would like to withdraw my guilty plea for the Tobi drama.
But you were criticized and debunked by honest and well-respected individuals like Prismate Luke, Creepshow Art, Kai Weiss, The Names Junkie, and okay, now that I say it out loud, I can kind of see how ridiculous I sound. But Tobi did a lot of bad things, and I can't believe you're defending her!
Well, the thing is, I'm not actually defending Tobi. And I never really was defending Tobi. Just because I criticize her critics, or explain a few of her terrible actions, doesn't mean I'm trying to excuse everything she has done. And just to prove that point, I'm going to be criticizing her a little bit in this video. I might not go through everything, but if I miss something here or there, just so you all know, there are plenty of videos out there already criticizing her. I really hate the "you didn't mention X, therefore biased" argument. I guess you could make the argument that I'm technically defending Tobi by criticizing her critics, but by that same logic, if anyone criticizes me in this video, they will retroactively be defending all of the people I will talk about, like Kai Weiss, Prismate Luke, Creepshow Art, and others. Well, I guess that makes sense. I will also allow you to have a few lawyers come in to defend you. Thank you, Your Honor, but I would like to take on Prismate Luke by myself. That makes sense. After all, the guy is already in prison for several crimes against humanity. And robots. One thing I have received a lot of criticism for is that I don't always recap dramas properly for those who are out of the loop. I do sometimes think, hey, if you don't know about this drama, then why did you click on this video? But because this drama is well over a year old, I think I have to recap things, just to catch everyone up to speed. There are a lot of commentary groups, and the one I'm in uses avatars, because I'm cringe. There have been a lot of big dramas that almost everyone in the community got involved in, such as the Stories and Pentagram drama. And the big drama that happened just before the Tobi drama, the Sonic 93 drama. But I would say that the Tobi drama is the biggest one yet, and it led into tons of other dramas, like the Prismate Luke drama, the Hopeless Peaches drama, the Creepshow Art drama, my drama, and even the Kai drama. And you know what, let's just throw the Names Junkie drama in there for good flavor. It all seemed to start when Tobi and her friend, in the biggest quotation marks you can find at the time, Omnia, got into some drama with Creepshow Art. Tobi did a video called The Many Faults of Creepshow Art. She later took it down, but there's a re-upload of it that I'll link down below. She called out Creepshow for a few of her mistakes and the shady things she has done. And Creepshow Art responded by saying this.
Basically, I wanted to say that Tobi is not wrong in saying that I have changed, because I have. However, when I started making my videos, I was not happy. I wasn't. There's this idea that when I made my videos beforehand, I was super happy and I was going through all of this and all this stuff. I was not in a good place, physically or mentally. And just because I used to do something that made you guys happy, it wasn't something that fueled me the same way it fueled you. And I hope you guys can understand that. If you like my older videos, thank you. I mean it. Thank you. It means the world to me that the art I made in that time frame means a lot to you, because it means a lot to me. However, I do not want to go back to the person I was when I made those videos, because I was having panic attacks every night in my car, hurting myself, and there is so much more that I can't go back to that person.
Tobi was saying people liked you for your personality, not you doubling down on spreading misinfo constantly. The fact that this was right at the very beginning of the video felt like such a purposeful misrepresentation of Tobi's words. It struck me the complete wrong way, and I have no idea how she heard what Tobi said and decided to take that as Tobi saying she wanted Shannon back in a terrible mental state. Like, what? No, pause. And now, I doubt that's even what she heard. She just latched onto that interpretation to push things more in her favor.
As you can see, Tobi called out Creepshow Art long before the lolcow leaks happened. And what's strange is that the drama with both Hopeless Peaches and Tobi seem to both blow up way more than they should have. For those of you who don't know about the lolcow leaks, lolcow, which is like 4chan but for girls, leaked a few messages from Creepshow Art, which showed her talking shit behind other YouTubers' backs, including Hopeless Peaches, before their public falling out. Now, it should be noted that Tobi did interview Hopeless Peaches for her video that called out Creepshow art. Or at least that's what people thought for the longest time. She was asked if she would be willing to participate by Tobi, but she said no, due to already telling Shannon her feelings. And that made Creepshow art turn her sights on Hopeless Peaches. The lolcow leaks also showed her saying some not-so-PC things, and considering how much she would call others out for what she was doing. And on top of that, she was still trying to lie her way out of this drama. Well, she lost the most percentage of subs anyone has ever lost on YouTube. But that wasn't until much later in the timeline, so let's get back to the Tobi drama. Out of nowhere, Kai, who was, or soon would be, the boyfriend of Omnia. They are no longer together, and I'm not saying why. Kai is also black, and boy howdy does he want everyone in the world to know it. Kai is well known for bringing up his race in any drama he was in. As far as I'm aware, Kai did the first video on Tobi. Later on in the timeline, Kai would flag down a video Akumu made on him, and considering Kai made videos on other people and he flagged down a video someone made on him, it made him look like a giant hypocrite. He had a debate with John Swan, and then he had his domestic abuse scandal. People learned that Kai was a very disagreeable person who would lash out at any and all criticism. But of course, that wasn't until much later on in the timeline. Jar, get back on topic. You can talk about that stuff later. Oh, sorry about that, Judge. I'll get back on topic. Kai out of nowhere did a video on Tobi, and Omnia soon did one themselves. But what did they call Tobi out for? Well, she called Ben the Looney a pedo for drawing not safe for work of characters from OKKO in a provocative way. She later said in a video about her dead dog that if anyone drew not safe for work of underage characters, that they were a pedo. But she drew Todoroki from My Hero Academia with a bloody nose, with the not safe for work tag, I might add. On top of that, she drew Sailor Moon in a, let's just say, sexy way. She also claimed that Kai and Omnia were calling her a pedo when they just said by her own logic she would be one. Bringing up pedo stuff in a video about your dead dog didn't really seem like the best time to talk about such things. On top of that, Omnia leaked some messages they had with Tobi about race. Also, a lot of people didn't like Tobi for how rude she was to people. But arguably, the thing that probably gave her the most hate was forgiving Shane Dawson on behalf of black people. Wow, that was fucking stupid. Especially the fact that she did this when just about the whole internet hated him. Why did the drama blow up so much? Prison mate Luke, who was giant at the time, joined in on the drama. Luke blew up, getting 100k subs in just 3 months. And at that point in time, he had no videos done on him. So to most people, he seemed perfect. His videos got 100k to 300k views, and about 10k likes on every video. Wait, why would someone like Luke join in on something so small? I do not know for sure, but Tobi did do a video on Creepshow art, and Luke was friends with Creepshow art because of the Antunes drama. So I think she, or maybe even Omnia or Kai, told Luke to join in on the Tobi drama. That made the drama go from what could have been just a little one to being a big one. A few people in the commentary community started to think that Kai, and to a lesser extent Omnia, were being a little bit too unfair to Tobi. A few people in the CC, some of which were friends of Tobi's, started somewhat defending her. Mostly calling out Kai for a few of his arguments. Yes, all the way back then, people thought there was something off about Kai. And they also had a problem with Omnia for leaking the private story of Tobi, and for saying this in one of her videos that she later took out.
Right now, I'm speaking to Madlib's Art and whoever else you're collaborating with on this supposed video y'all are making. Unless you're looking to end up like your little friend right here, just don't do it. You already look bad for getting yourself involved for no reason other than to do Tobi's dirty work. So just spare yourself the time and the inevitable tank in subscribers and just make some other video. I'm saying this for your own good.
Harsh Opinions and Nani made videos on Kai and Omnia.
And they defended everything Tobi did and said that she was perfect. Also, they were super racist to Kai and Omnia.
That's not true, like, at all. Like, did you even watch their videos?
No, but Thuman and Luke told me they did. And Harsh and Nani's videos are long gone, so no one can check them anymore.
Well, I found a few re-uploads of them. I'll play a few clips and you tell me if they were biased in favor of Tobi. And I'll also link to unlisted re-uploads of them down below.
Tobi was going to be a topic on my channel. I was basically just going to critique her for being slightly hypocritical and how she blames stuff that she does on her disorder a lot. I was basically just going to do like a nice friendly commentary telling her how I think personally that she can improve. Nobody has to listen to me. I just thought it would be like a nice lighthearted video, something that's a little bit different than what I've been making. She's been coming under fire because of those exact things I've just said, being hypocritical, being kind of harsh, etc., etc. And that's annoying, but I don't think it's a very big deal. Kai Weiss is a YouTuber, a new up-and-coming, I guess, commentary YouTuber with only about 5k subscribers. I've watched their videos before. I'm subscribed to them. I think their work is pretty good for the most part, but I didn't really like this video that they made, so I'm gonna make a response myself. I don't know. It's got an overwhelmingly positive view, but I personally didn't like some of the points they made, and I wanted to go ahead and give my opinion on it. But don't attack anybody mentioned in this. I don't have anything against literally anyone in this video. I think this is a dumb drama, and that's why I'm doing commentary on it. So again, he didn't outwardly say, hey, Tobi, you're a P-word. But he said, by your logic, you are just as bad as...
Wow, now that you point it out, I really should have watched these videos first, before commenting.
To be fair, both me and Nani did skip over a lot of the things Tobi did because we thought people already knew about them. Or at least I did, I don't speak for Nani. Thuman and later Prismate Luke said that everyone, mostly Harsh and Nani, were massive friends of Tobi who excused everything she did and only went after Kai and Omnia because they were black. This is where I come in. If you have seen the 2 videos about my past, you would know that at this time, I was working with Harsh, Laka, and TheNamesJunkie's. But if you haven't seen the 2 videos about my past, you don't need to have seen them to understand what's going on. Just know that a long time ago, I was wronged by a group, and Laka, Harsh, and Junkie also had some problems with the same group as me. So I thought we were a team who would stick by one another until the very end. Long story short, we didn't. Harsh was one of the 2 people who did a video on Kai and Omnia. Mostly on Kai, and Kai made a response to her. With the benefit of hindsight, now that we all know how Kai likes to argue, he was really off in a lot of his points. And his response to her was much shorter than her video, meaning he cut a lot out. At first, people were mostly just politely disagreeing with Kai and Omnia, but you know how Kai is. At one point, he talked about another small commentator, Madlibs, because they made a subtweet that wasn't even about him. No one even responded to Nani's video, and they both got hundreds of dislikes, almost 1k. And the comments I saw seemed to be from people who'd even bother to watch the video. All the hate comments also had a ton of upvotes on them. This is because Luke and Thuman have a lot of fans who are from Twitter. And if you know anything about Twitter, you know they know how to ratio people. At the time, I didn't actually know this, but I still wanted to help out Harsh. But my boss wanted me to work 8 8-hour days in a row at a place that was a 30-minute drive, an hour there and back. But both Laka and Harsh wanted me to help as soon as I possibly could. So I asked Manga if he knew about the drama. Turns out, he not only knew about the drama, but he had a script all ready to go. That his friend, Hopeless Peaches, checked for him and made one grammar correction. This will be important later. He was going to join in on the drama, not only because he thought something fishy was going on, but because Thuman in her video, Commentary Community Do Better, she said that Manga who only made like 2 jokes about the drama, needed to do better, and he got some hate from her fans, calling him racist. He didn't make his video because he hurt himself at the gym, but I gave him a speech to join me, and together we will put things right. I added Future Butters to do the video with us. Why? Because she did a video with both me and Manga about the Brony fandom. But I soon learned that she was friends with Tobi, but I thought it would be poor taste to kick her out of the video because I just asked her to help. Me and Butters made changes to the script, and I had a new editor of mine, Sponge, work on the video. Butters took forever to do her lines, so the video came out much later than I wanted it to. Sponge's editing wasn't the best, in fact it was downright terrible, and he had a black SpongeBob fly across the screen as I was reading out one of Kai's comments. Now I want to make this clear, I still uploaded the video. First rule of leadership, everything is your fault. Because Sponge makes changes to Sponge all the time, and there was also a girl-looking SpongeBob running across the screen when I was talking about Tobi, I thought people would be alright with this. Needless to say, people like Thuman and Luke said it was fucking blackface, and I was racist for doing it. Both me and Sponge said sorry about this, in fact I said sorry twice, but they just didn't take it. I almost lost everything because of a fucking black sponge. Calling Harsh and Nani biased friends of Tobi was dumb, but people did it anyways. So you can imagine how much hate I got for Butters being in my video, who was really a friend of Tobi's. But believe it or not, most people did like my video at first for the first 2 days. Until Luke came in to fuck everything up for me. The start of when everything went to hell. The Dark Age. I was ready to deal with Kai, Omnia, and Thuman, but not Luke. After Prismate Luke covered my Tobi video, it got dislikes fast. And to this day, it's my only video with more dislikes than likes. I started getting hate on Twitter as well. And I know I've said this plenty of times before, but the first big channel to call me out was someone with my real name in their name? Like, stars aligned, what a coincidence! People called me racist and a pedo who defended the movie Cuties. I tried to talk things out in DMs with Luke, but it was like talking to a wall. Soon Kai joined in and others as well. But to be honest, my video wasn't that good, and it did have a lot of problems. Spoctor's video about the Tobi drama also had a lot of problems with it. It was by no means perfect. He tried way too hard to lean into the PR, but I'll get to that video later. At least his video stopped a lot of the hate I was getting, but it wasn't just me who was getting hate. Hopeless Peaches also got some hate because of Luke's video. He talked about her at the very end, seemingly for nothing, and he called her a suicide baiter. I was only thinking about myself at the time, so I didn't want to help her out. On top of that, for how the Tobi drama went for me, I thought I couldn't even help her. I went to Spoctor hoping he could fix the drama because things were getting worse for me. Spoctor's video about the Tobi drama went really easy on Kai, Luke, and the others. But the hate did seem to stop, and I promised I would say sorry in a video. I made my apology video and had Spoctor look it over. But considering that Spoctor apologized during the Stories and Pentagon drama, I don't know what I was thinking when I went to him to look over my apology. But because I already made a response to Luke's video about me, and I sent it to Spoctor before his video came out and he didn't bring up how Luke will edit what people say to twist their words, or bring up a comment that has nothing to do with what the other person is talking about, I decided to put my response to Luke after my apology. So yes, I called out Luke before Harley, Tom, and Just Stop, bitches! But then Peaches made a tweet that she later took down saying she was going to do a video on Luke. And in just a few days, Luke did a video on Peaches. Harley would later make the same mistake. Luke is one of those guys who will try to discredit his opposition before they call him out. Soon after Luke's video, Kai, Omnia, Creepshow, Thuman, and tons of other people started attacking Hopeless Peaches. And on top of that, their videos blew up, getting hundreds of thousands of views. Creepshow Art, who was already big, her video on Peaches is currently her 6th most popular video. Peaches tried to fight back, but her first video was received very poorly. Thuman talked shit about me in her video about Hopeless Peaches, and Omnia did as well in both of her Hopeless Peaches videos. So I knew that I was next on the chopping block. And I think I know why. When the hate for Hopeless Peaches started to die down, Junkie leaked a script that she worked on with Manga Common. The same script that me and Future Butters later changed. This made all the hate I was getting to also be lumped onto Hopeless Peaches. I did ask Manga Common before Omnia's second video on Peaches came out, the one where she shows the leaked script, if Peaches was the one who got Manga Common into the Tobi drama, but he told me no. In fact, she tried to talk him out of it. When I first brought this up on Twitter, people just said that Manga Common was lying. Do you see all the bullshit I have to deal with? I started getting more hate. People were saying things like, "You kept this info to yourself. A lie by omission is still a lie." Yo, dipshits. Omnia got the script from Junkie, who got it from Manga Common, because Manga Common trusted him and wanted Junkie to have all the info he could for his Tobi video. What did you all think? Omnia hacked Manga Common or something? But the Dark Age wasn't all bad. Just Stop called out Luke in a video, and Luke's response to it didn't go over well. What? Just because this is the Dark Age doesn't mean it's all doom and gloom. Then I did something really terrible. I threw Peaches under the bus. But I only talked about 3 things that I thought were true. And I even said sorry a second time to Kai and Omnia. I was hoping this would at long last end the drama, but it didn't. Because literally the next day, Luke did a video on me, calling me racist. I wanted to fight back so badly, but because Kuro the artist kicked me out of his Discord and removed the 2 videos he did with me, I started to lose hope. On top of that, after seeing what happened to both Tobi and Peaches, when they said sorry for a few of the things they did but also tried to defend themselves, and a lot of people in the CC turned on me, like Laka and Junkie blocking me, I did go to both Spoctor and Just Stop for help, but they just pulled me into a call and said they wouldn't. I said sorry again, making myself look like a little bitch in the process. But I would rather look like a bitch than lose everything. And it was at this point that I thought there was no hope. On top of everything else, Junkie uploaded his Tobi video, and it didn't paint me, Manga Common, or Peaches in a good light. And then he blocked Manga Common. The roller coaster of the drama, the Gray Age. Tons of smaller YouTubers came out to defend me, like Shady Durags, Carmen Ryder, Sen, and tons of others. I'm not gonna lie, it brought a tear to my eye. I was never afraid of Luke, Kai, or Creepshow, or any of them, but I was afraid of them all together. But I didn't know that there was a small chance that I could make it out of this. As the old saying goes, you can lose a battle, but still win the war. Luke wasn't smart. In fact, I dare even say he was a dipshit. Prison mate Duke of Dipshits. He also uploaded a lot, like once every 2 days. But most importantly, he was a white man. He couldn't really use any oppression cards against me. So I just had to wait, and I didn't have to wait long at all, because as I was taking some time off the internet, making my response to Luke in the meantime, Luke was in the Lexit drama, working with Just Stop and Harley. Long story short, they had some disagreements, and Harley said he was going to do a video on Luke. So of course, Luke rushed to make a video on Harley. Around the same time, Just Stop did his second video on Luke. And in that video, Just Stop defended me a little bit as well. Because Luke was dealing with Harley and Just Stop at the same time, I knew this was my chance. So I not only made a response to Luke's video on me, but I also talked about his Harley video. I slapped him 2 times in a row, and Luke lost most of his power. His videos started getting less than half the views they used to get. At long last, I had some hope once more. I was going to get started on Luke's video about Hopeless Peaches next. Millie Malware was the first person who really helped out Hopeless Peaches, and even Manga Common came in with his own video on Luke. It seemed like things were turning around. Then Creepshow Art did her second video on Peaches. I lost most of the little hope I just got, because even if we took down Creepshow, who would come out of the woodwork next? D'Angelo fucking Wallace? Not only did she talk about Peaches, but she even called me a super racist and implied that Manga Common was sexist. Why did she do this? Well, it's because some people made a doc defending Peaches, and Creepshow Art thought me or Manga Common made it. Long story short, we didn't. It was Spy V and Scritus. I put my Luke video on hold and got started on my response to Creepshow Art's video, but Just Stop was doing the same thing. So we talked in private and I decided to upload my video a week after Just Stop's video. So it didn't look like we were working together because, well, we weren't. On top of all of that, Spy V and Scritus also came out with their own video on Creepshow Art. But despite all we did, it barely did any damage to her. After that, I started making a ton of videos defending Hopeless Peaches to make up for, throwing her under the bus. I finished up my video covering Luke's video on Peaches, but just before I uploaded it, Peaches uploaded her own video defending herself. Me and her got into contact with one another and she made me this very nice thumbnail for my Prismate Luke video, and a few other thumbnails for the other videos defending her. A little later on in the timeline, Luke was trying to revive the Lexit drama.
And, unlike the Tobi drama with me, he really was trying to revive it to get back at Harley.
Even more so later on in the timeline, I called out Luke once more during the Mari and Cal drama, and he at long last quit. Also, Harley helped out. Good on you, Harley. Sure, get back on topic. Oh, sorry, Judge. After I did my 4th video defending Peaches, the one on Evrona, the next day, Omnia and Kai uploaded videos on Peaches, and they both uploaded them at the exact same time. Omnia's video was somewhat of an apology to Peaches for using her grooming video in their 2nd video on Peaches, which made a few people call Peaches a liar under her grooming video, saying she made everything up. Omnia's apology was mostly just defending themselves. Funny that when Tobi, me, or Peaches made videos saying sorry for things that are true, but also try to defend ourselves from claims that are false, it's a problem. But when they do it, it's okay. Right? Well, no, actually. Because for once, both Omnia and Kai got a few dislikes under their videos. But mostly Kai's, where he called out Peaches and Harley for defending Thuman for the racist comments she was getting. Yes, this is a real thing. Also, the names Junkie and Spocter were in Kai's video. Kai was also in Omnia's video, where he talked about me and Harley. But I thought this drama went on for too long already. So I put on the biggest kid gloves I could, and responded to Omnia's video in the nicest and most charitable way I could. I skipped over Kai's video because there was no way I could do that. So the drama was finally over, right? Well, no, because Box of Fox and Holy Majesty, aka GhostEXE, both made videos on me saying, "The Peaches drama needs to stop!" Even though, at the end of my video, I said that was my last one. But whatever! Oh, and later on, Kai made a response to my section on him, but it's okay when he does it because fuck you. Also, both Box of Fox and Holy Majesty were people I worked with during the Sonic 93 drama. I even did a video with Box of Fox, so a lot of my fans saw their video. Not only that, but they didn't really talk about any other drama or really upload that much after the Sonic 93 drama. Box called me racist in their video, and Holy Majesty's video was also very bad. There was also this one moment in my comments section where I asked Omnia in the nicest way I could if them and Kai were in a relationship, which made people flip out at me, Kai most of all saying, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" It's a question! Sorry for trying to make sure my information is right. But if I called out Kai or Omnia, I knew Creepshow Art or others would swoop in to save them. But I knew Creepshow Art was the biggest threat, so I had to come up with a plan to take her out first. I started gathering info on her, and came up with a plan to take her down once and for all. The time when everything turned out okay, the age of light. So the lolcow leaks happened. Lolcow is like 4chan, but for girls. And they leaked a bunch of Creepshow Art's messages, where she was talking shit about Hopeless Peaches before their public falling out, along with a bunch of other messages where she was talking shit about a ton of other YouTubers, including D'Angelo Wallace. She also said some racist and homophobic things, and a bunch of other shit. This looks bad already, but Creepshow Art made everything worse for herself by lying. She said it wasn't her, and in fact was a stalker of her named Amy, who spoofed her IP. After all the lies Tobi called her out for, and the Hopeless Peaches drama, a lot of people called her out. But shockingly, the first person was Omnia. Lots of people called out Creepshow Art, but the people who got in the best hits were Just Stop, Spy V, Hopeless Peaches, and most of all, Emily Artful. A part of me thought at long last, this was over. Everyone will come together because of Creepshow. And me, Hopeless Peaches, Omnia, and Kai will all be friends. Lol, of course not! Because all it took was me leaving a comment underneath Emily Artful's video about Creepshow Art, saying, Creepshow Art hurt me and my friends as well, along with a few other things. Omnia made this lovely tweet about it, saying I was making Emily Artful's video all about myself, and I just did it for clout. Kai said I was just victimizing myself, very funny coming from him. And then, No One Asked made a video called Jar is not a Creepshow Art victim, jumping onto the Creepshow Art bandwagon, so it got a ton of views. Using arguments that I already debunked from Luke. She basically dedicated her channel to talking about me. Like, Jesus Christ, Antunes didn't even get one of those. Oh my god, she just released a video about Chris Rock after he got slapped by my friend Will Smith. By the way, buddy, thanks for letting me be in that movie with you. But her last video on me responding to my response to her really didn't seem to go over too well. Kai later got into some drama with Carmen Ryder over a few tweets she made about him. Just want to make it clear, Carmen Ryder did say something similar to Luke, calling Kai a sewer slide baiter. I get what she was trying to do. She was trying to do the whole, how does it feel when it happens to you? But the thing is, Luke said that about Peaches and not Kai. And then he did a second video on me because I was wrong about him in one comment. You know how I said the Dark Age wasn't all bad? Well, the Age of Light also wasn't all good either. So if anyone wants to cry and say,
Jar, why are you still talking about this? Why can't you just let it go?
I have tried over and over. But if I can't even make a fucking comment without having videos being made on me, I'm going to war. But luckily, the Black Knight of the commentary community, Akumu, got into some drama with Kai. Just with a few comments and tweets, so Kai, shockingly, did a video on him. I knew Akumu was someone who didn't give a shit if everyone hated him. He was going to fight no matter what. But I knew that people like Holy Majesty, Box of Fox, and The Name's Junkie would jump in and White Knight for Kai. And because everyone hated Akuma already, it would start a bandwagon, making Kai look like the hero. So I came up with my evil plan. What?
That's how you said it.
Long story short, Holy Majesty got into some drama with Call Me Nil, who found some questionable drawings that he made about 5 years ago. I got Laka to unblock me, and later I got them to get The Name's Junkie to unblock me as well. Junkie told me that Manga Common was blackmailing him. Of course I asked for Manga Common's side of the story, and all he did was record a call that Junkie gave him permission to record, and Manga Common gave me that call. Now, some people have said that I took the call out of context, but I didn't. Leo Convoy has the fully recorded call on his channel if you want more information. The reason why Junkie called it blackmail was because Manga Common said at the start of the call that he would use it as leverage. And yes, Manga Common said that at the start of the call. The leverage was if Junkie lied about the call later. which he did. On top of that, one of my editors showed me messages from Box of Fox, who said that they would no longer be friends with them if they were still working for me. And this happened around the same time everything else with Junkie and Majesty was happening. I feel like I had so much bad luck at the start of this drama, and now my luck has completely turned around. In my video, The Problems with the Commentary Community, I called out Majesty for like 30 seconds, and it broke him. After that, I called out all three of them in my video, The Problems with TheNamesJunkie's and Box of Fox. After my video came out, other people like Heaton Mitsuru and FishLizard.zip, now known as Mind Your Business, called out Junkie for things he has done to them as well. After that, Akumu responded to Kai's video on him, and Kai decided to flag it down. But flagging down videos is one of the worst things you can do in the commentary community. I like to think that he did this because his friends were no longer there to help him. After a debate with John Swan, by the way, John Swan, you a cool guy. I took my video about you down. It was really cringy. And I overreacted because, well, people were saying I didn't show enough emotions in my videos. But I really overdid it with that one. I'm sorry, man. Love you. And if anyone unsubbed to him because of me, sub back. He made up for most of what he did in my eyes. A lot of people started calling Kai out, like me, Turkey Tom, Optimus, the full commentary community almost. But now that everything seemed to be finally over, I had time to upload the video about my past. Yes, remember that? The video that I was waiting on until Laka and Harsh finished their videos on the same group? Also, Junkie was in the same group as us. And I got in the Tobi drama in the first place to help Harsh. I had the chance to talk about the group that pushed me into almost unaliving myself. And to be honest, after everything with the Tobi drama, not gonna lie, it felt underwhelming. You know, when you look at what Tobi did, doing things like forgiving Shane Dawson, to everything that Kai, Creepshow, and Luke have done, the drama seems to be a little silly in comparison, don't you think? It's almost like when I said, yo, Tobi, not perfect, but something seems off about Kai. Maybe, just maybe, I had a fucking point. But you know what? I think it's time to look back on the Tobi drama. Starting with the Names Junkie video, because it has the least to do with my video, and it goes over a lot of the drama. Also, he took this video down, but I have a download of it, and I want to make sure that this little backstabber never comes back. Wow, that was a long story. Your first lawyer is almost here. It's Xero, but you'll meet him at a different courthouse.
You have another lawyer to replace the last one who got hit by a bus. Bring her in.
Oh boy, I hope it's someone I haven't had past drama with.
Hey, Jar.
No!
Ah, don't worry. I too have a bone to pick with Puff the Red Dragon over there. More so the video recapping the Tobi situation.
Oh, okay. Just as long as we don't talk about Pokemon.
So, the Tobi drama. Yeah, I know.
This situation blew up big time, to be blunt. It wasn't normal YouTube drama that just escalated into yikes.
But we're not here to reignite the drama. Trust me, that's the last thing we want to do right now. We're here to merely analyze what went down as the situation progressed.
But to do that, we're going to have to address some things first.
So there's this one part of the drama people put a lot of attention onto.
Right now, I'm speaking to Madlib's Art and whoever else you're collaborating with on this supposed video y'all are making. Unless you're looking to end up like your little friend right here, just don't do it. You already look bad for getting yourself involved for no reason other than to do Tobi's dirty work. So just spare yourself the time and the inevitable tank in subscribers and just make some other video. I'm saying this for your own good.
Now, Omni has already apologized for this. She knew it wasn't a good thing to do and she regrets her actions. That's good. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because That was towards me and Madlibs. I was going to be Libby's collab partner, and well, it didn't happen, obviously.
So I'm here instead.
Alright, I do want to keep the idea of Omnia apologizing being important to the side here, because it'll be important later.
Just so you all know, Junkie was on the side of me and Manga Common before we made our video. And this doesn't 100% prove it, but it's still proof that he used to be on the other side. He always waits before a drama is over before he picks a side, and he always picks the winning one.
The reason why I was making that video was because people had been bringing up the situation to me, and I decided to follow the trend. I was looking into the situation because I didn't know much about it until Libby reached out to me with some more information. Libby came to me with concerns that Omni had been cutting up the DMs. From what she showed me, I believed her and asked her if she wanted to collab. I enjoyed my last collaboration, so I thought it would be fun to do another one.
That's FishLizard.zip, now known as Mind Your Business, and Junkie also backstabbed them as well. I'll link their video down below if you want more info.
So we got started on production, and production took forever. But once we had gotten a good chunk done, I brought Phantom in onto the project. Phantom's my script editor. I usually bring her on my videos to get a second opinion on the scripts, do proofreading, the works.
I get summoned, I do the job, I get paid. I'm quality control. I check grammar, I reword sentences, and sometimes I help Junk out with the writing process.
Listen, English is not my first language, okay?
Junkie, you are a born and bred American. What are you talking about?
Shh, don't tell him that!
Anyway, I popped onto the project and did the usual. The script was about 15 pages in progress when I came aboard, and by the time it was ready for me to start editing, it was around 13 pages long. Usually I get started early on the script, but for some reason there were stalls for me starting early. When I did get to it, there were issues, mainly because of work ethic differences. Typically, I watch the videos being reviewed with Junk and the collab partner, or at least someone shares and explains the situation of the video to me. Not this time. There were a lot of discrepancies that popped up throughout the script. Usually they were about DMs or some sort of ad hominem argument. When I went to go look for the evidence that was cited, because I wasn't too clear on the arguments Libby and Junk wanted to make, I actually couldn't find anything. The main concerns I had were about Libby's points, because everything Junk did expanded on her cited information, but that evidence wasn't there. And that can happen in script production. Sometimes someone just forgets to fill me in. I asked Libby if she could give me the reference for one of her arguments, and she told me Junk had it.
I didn't have anything.
So I made a group chat for all of us because, hey, I don't want to be confrontational. And I asked again if anyone had the evidence. Then Libby gave me the video link that she was referencing when she was supposedly referencing a DM. I was confused as hell, but I had a job to do. I asked Junk if he wanted me to fact check everything else, since there were just a lot of videos to watch.
I was gonna give Phantom the green light, but Libby didn't think it was important enough and just wanted to continue along with the script. That wasn't smart of me to do, I know.
That's when I started getting skeptical. So I kept pestering Junkie because the entire script was just a mess. Hey, Junkie, what the hell is going on in the script? Are we defending Tobi, or what?
Well, we're doing a neutral party perspective, but leaning more towards defending Tobi.
So are we defending Tobi?
Well, no.
So we are defending Tobi.
Yeah.
Great. I did my job, except for fact-checking. Worked with Libby and Junk because Libby kept adding more onto the script, even rewriting my previous edits. But whatever, at that point, I already got paid.
I had to pay out of pocket.
My college funds appreciate your existence.
Libby took really long to get me the audio too, which slowed production down by, well, a lot. Granted, Libby was going through some personal stuff at the time, which I understand. I've been through that stuff myself. Eventually, I did get the audio, and it got to about halfway through the project, which was already over 40 minutes long. But then Libby told me she wanted to drop the project and come back to it at a later date.
Junkie wasn't happy.
You damn right I wasn't happy.
I wasn't either.
Hey, you know what's missing from just about this entire explanation segment? Evidence. Like, you provide screenshots of Libby wanting to drop the project and her taking a bit of time to get her recordings to you, but you give, like, nothing in the realms of pre-production, the script-checking aspects. Nothing but your word on the matter is given to us, and it's frustrating, to put it nicely. But more on that later.
Further proof that Junkie only ever picks the winning side. If the 3 people he talked about didn't get a bunch of dislikes, he wouldn't have done what he did.
First off, I'd like to start off with an apology. This is Trent, an artist who used to be good friends with Tobi, but after a falling out, which we will cover later on in the video, Tobi decided to blackmail him through DMs via an alt account she had on Twitter. At the time, I was collaborating with Libby, and when Trent confronted me about it, I didn't believe it was blackmail. Why? Because I'm a smooth brain that didn't do his research.
I'd argue that's still not exactly blackmail, though. A threat, for sure, but blackmail implies that Tobi had something to use against Trent to get him to do what she wanted. In this case, stop supporting Ben the Looney, something he did actively do at the time. But we don't see any indication that Tobi did. She just said there that she was willing to drag Trent into the call-out of Ben, which, yeah, no, I agree, it's kind of a shitty thing to do, but we'll get back to that.
I highly regret that decision, and I want to say that I'm sorry, Trent. I apologize for acting like a pompous moron towards you and treating you like absolute crap. I should have looked more into the situation than I initially did. I appreciate that you accepted my apology during our interview, but I still regret the decision I made. There's no excuse for my behavior, and I'm very sorry for what I've done.
I've never personally talked to Trent. Hell, I didn't know of him until Junkie and Libby started that collab. But when I first heard of him, all that I was told was that he supported a pedophile and that the video would be bashing on him. Ugh. I made a bunch of excuses for my thoughts at the time once the blackmail DM screenshot was shared with me. I tried to justify it as if the blackmail didn't sound threatening, that everything was just being exaggerated. Those are not acceptable excuses. What happened to Trent is a violation of his sense of safety and privacy. Blackmail is a serious offense and it should not be taken lightly.
Oh my god. You don't know what blackmailing is. You did the same shit in the drama that Junkie had with Manga Comment that I covered in this video. Telling someone that you're going to do a video on them is not fucking blackmail.
Once again, Trent, we're sorry about how we treated you. We hope that after all this, you can relax and heal. Like with Trent, there were many biases I had in the past that I want to address. I'm friends with many of the people involved. Manga Common, Harsh Opinions, Nani, Jar, Fuchsia Butters, Nezzy, Madlips, and many more that got themselves involved.
Top 10 things that have aged terribly.
I am aware of my own biases here, which is why I asked Phantom to step in.
Because I know nobody. But I do have my own biases. Every human does. I'm not a fan of Madlibs or Just a Robot because of work ethic differences. I like my work done and paid for. They like writing over it.
What? I like writing over others' work? And I think you also said I don't pay people?
Or at the very least, it's insinuated.
What? What are you talking about?
Everything started with Tobi. This is the Tobi drama after all, and in that original drama, there were a lot of dramas revolving around her original drama. Are you sick of the word drama yet? 'Cause I am!
But seriously, Tobi is either the origin of the problem or the escalator of the drama.
Tobi has three distinct origins to her controversies: her support of Shane Dawson, the pedophilia accusations towards Ben the Looney, and the yaoi recommendations. These are all points that Kai and Omnia bring up in their videos addressing Tobi's hypocrisy.
Drama regarding Tobi is not new. She became infamous for her video on Creepshow Art, which is now deleted, but introduced her videos to controversy.
Little did you know that her Tobi video would age like fine wine.
Yeah, there's a lot of retroactive oofs throughout the entire video. Mind you, they're not strikes against the video, it's just stuff that Jar and I had a bit of a giggle at.
And no, Tobi, you can't accept apologies on behalf of African American people. That's stupid.
Yeah, so people in our community raised their concerns in the comments section, as people do. Tobi did have a fan base, and Kai and Omnia were previously fans. Kai posted his first video, Tobi Has a Meltdown over Shane Dawson, PewDiePie, and drama channels, The Faults of Tobi, on June 24th, 2020.
Wait! Kai did the first video on Tobi? The guy who will fight until he gets his way. Things are really starting to add up.
Now, that's not to discredit Kai's video. Even an asshole can make a valid point once in a while, but the point Jar is trying to make is that it's kind of telling how Kai's actions could have possibly influenced the tides of the drama.
Don't even get me started on the yaoi drama. Good lord.
Oh yeah! That's my bit.
Good. Don't even want to touch this anyways.
Yeah, so to sum up the yaoi drama, Tobi recommended porn to her fanbase that may or may not contain minors. Let me explain. On the same exact date that Tobi made this tweet calling out Ben to be a pedophile, Tobi made this tweet. Now, Tobi being a fan of yaoi is not the concern. The concern is that Tobi is publicly posting porn titles to her Twitter. And no, Tobi, just because not all yaoi is porn does not mean that the yaoi you showed wasn't. I know those titles. That's some kinky and fucked up shit right there.
Okay, but the screenshot you show here shows that Tobi doesn't look at her channel as one for minors, and she can't exactly control who watches her stuff, you know? You can't be expected to cater to an audience you're not targeting. It's why we can't get on, like, as a bit of an extreme example, Pornhub's case for allowing someone under 18 on their site because they clicked the Lie Online button.
And one thing to note, Tobi, saying I'm not a channel for kids isn't an excuse. I know that my content isn't targeted for kids, but it should be common sense to just not shared the stuff publicly.
Why? That's not an argument, Junkie.
Not only that, but Tobi literally told y'all in your screenshot that she didn't know her likes would appear on people's timelines, and when learned of that being the case, actively stopped doing so. Now, mayhaps the argument get brought up, oh, but the tweet where the yaoi stemmed from was a posted tweet, to which, now I must bring up the content in said tweet, because all she said there was, when they say all yaoi couples are the same, with what I assume are the covers to each of the manga she insinuates here are the antithesis for the for fun strawman's point, to which doesn't explicitly tell us what kind of relationship these characters all have with one another, and instead that would have to be on the people going out and willingly reading the manga to deduce for themselves. Which is literally comparable to that of the aforementioned Pornhub's I'm 18, I promise button.
Especially if your Twitter is not marked not safe for work, but you've had problems with that too, haven't you?
There's so much out of context here, it's insane. Like, what exactly needed the NSFW tag? Was it Tobi sending people to Ben's account in a call-out tweet? Did she quote tweet something? Was it a screenshot of something that Ben posted? Hell, if it's the formermost, wouldn't that be more on Ben for even having the NSFW on his account anyway with no tag? After all, Dashing Heights implies that the porn was plastered all over Ben's page, and if he himself didn't have that little 18+ emoji people use, or have his own profile labeled with an NSFW warning, then can we really put the blame squarely on Tobi? Like, I'll give the benefit of doubt. Tobi definitely could have put one there if she felt it necessary, but this critique being lobbed against Tobi like that as if it's strictly her fault is just, it feels daft to me.
Now, if you want a more in-depth analysis on the yaoi drama, watch Minty's video. She knows a lot more than us and was actually the person we consulted in our research. But to brief it briefly, Tobi put out that tweet, and while it did not show explicit images of porn, it was posting the titles with her recommendations. Also, she's done this more than once. This was not a direct tweet, instead a reply to some thread, but as Tobi phrases it, here are her, quote, faves. The majority of Tobi's yaoi recommendations revolve around titles exploring adultery, drug use, rape, and even underage sexual relationships.
Yikes.
Anyone who says yikes is always shown themselves to be not very smart. In fact, I think it might be my trigger word. But who cares?
OMG, guys, she talked about WAPE.
And people said I'm the next Sonic 93.
Back onto Kai and Anya, they, like others, were concerned about Tobi's awful behavior. Now, keep in mind that Ami and Kai are new to the commentary community, and they also used to be fans of Tobi.
In their call-out video, Kai and Anya address the faults of Tobi. They go over many of Tobi's problems, mainly on how hypocritical she comes off as. Like, how she supports Shane Dawson even though she's an ally to BLM, how Tobi decides what she thinks trans people can get offended by, and other insensitive statements that Tobi has made.
Where was this comment at exactly? Once again, this is another screenshot that's enough out of context that it's hard to exactly pinpoint why what Tobi might be saying is wrong. Like, I guess speaking on behalf of most, if not all, trans people is a little distasteful with her being a cis woman, but it's hard to exactly take a hard stance for or against this with so much missing context here, especially as someone who could give her at least a level of validation from an individual stance.
One of the main concerns was how Tobi defined pedophilia, as in a person drawing any sort of sexually explicit or implicit material of children, fictional or not, or even partaking in such materials, classified a person as a pedophile, though she has also drawn sexually implicative images and sexually explicit images of minors before.
She said children, you said minors. I do disagree with Tobi's stance, as did a lot of other people who called me a pedo, but whatever. Teens that can pass for adults in anime, like the two characters she drew, are not even close to the same thing as what Ben drew. Like nude characters from OKKO. Neuralities, another person I covered, talked about people drawing My Hero Academia characters in lewd ways when she did it herself. But she only got to like less of a tenth of the hate that Tobi got.
Not to mention she's done this not once, but twice. One with a Todoroki drawing in BDSM, and another that is just straight up porn of Usagi from Sailor Moon. So, yeah, hypocrisy.
Todoroki is assumed to be in a BDSM outfit, and he has a bloody nose. That's not porn! Junkie, you should at least know someone needs to be you know, naked, or at least have something more than just a bloody nose to be porn, right? You guys really think KO with his dick out is the same thing as a 16-year-old with a bloody nose? Yes, I agree, it's a little hypocritical, but it's not even close to the same thing. This is my problem with this whole drama. When I think of lollies or shotas, I don't think of characters from My Hero Academia. I think of Madoka Magica or something. But I know this part is going to be twisted, so let's just move on. Also, OMG, she did it a whole full 2 times.
Practice what you preach, Tobi.
Tobi is also deflective whenever she is confronted about these drawings.
Oh, that. No. That was posted on January, but that was drawn 2 years before that. I remember because it was the first thing I drew with my drawing monitor that I got 2 years ago when I posted that. I just recycled it. A couple of things. One, Sailor Moon isn't a kid in the entire series, and also in this, she's an adult. Also, when it comes to aging up characters for lewd stuff, I don't see much of an issue as long as the character is proportionally and physically aged up as well as behaviorally aged up as well. I think my mindset of this is mostly due to me being a part of the first generation to really grow up with and are still attached to childhood nostalgia. Like, for instance, Raven and Beast Boy from Teen Titans. I was a mid to young teen when that show aired. I was close to the ages of the characters and had a huge crush on them, so as I grew up I liked art of them also being aged up to my age. I think this is why nowadays, and over the past 5 to 10 years, there have been so much lewd adult art of people like Sailor Moon, Misty, Peach, etc. With things like this, context matters and it's a gray area, I'll definitely say. That's the reason I don't apply this reasoning to me drawing the BNHA character, is because I never grew up with that character and wouldn't have drawn him sexually if I was aware of his age, to be honest. Because of these two things, this is why I don't draw this stuff anymore. It's too much of a gray area that I'd rather not walk on the line of now that I have an audience. So once again, if this is what people are using to paint me as a pedophile, then every NSFW artist is a pedophile because they've all drawn their teenage animated crush as adults at some point. So, you say there's deflection here, but I would like to know what you asked Tobi initially that may lead to this being deflection. They do go on to explain where they think the deflection is, but give me a sec, we'll come back to that.
This is my problem with this drama. No one is making an argument. It's all just, but Tobi did this. She's bad. If she doesn't know the age, or she aged them up, then what's the problem? Also, she said she would stop doing things like this. What more do you people want?
We all know that they are sketchy, but she would say that the pieces were drawn years ago despite them being posted in the previous year. There are also excuses of the art being of aged up characters, but that is never stated in either post. There are also actual legal definitions that don't match up to what Tobi is talking about. We'll go more in depth later, but keep that in mind. Tobi does not know what she's talking about.
But that wouldn't instinctively mean she's deflecting in the screenshot you show. All we really got out of your screenshot was Tobi explaining this stuff, and not what was asked that led her to explain this.
She even mentions that it's a gray area. But with how she treats Ben's situation, you wouldn't think that.
The gray area is about aging up characters, not about the pornography Ben drew. Unless you can also prove that Ben's depictions of KO were aged up, then there's not really any ground to call her out on being inconsistent.
After Kai and Omnia released their video, Tobi quite literally flipped her shit. She began making Twitter threads explaining her actions, accusing Kai and Omnia of lying, manipulation, even cutting up DMs. Not to mention saying that they were framing her as a pedophile. Granted, some of the accusations had merit, but not really. For example, while yes, the DMs were cut up, when seen in full, they didn't really help Tobi's case.
Man, I'm starting to feel like one hell of a broken record, because Junkie continues to revoke context that would explain anything in these screen caps. Like, at this point, I'm not even saying you're wrong or anything, but good God, are you being super vague for no reason at all? The look at it approach doesn't work for argumentation, especially when the screen caps are this small and blurry, and plus, don't have enough substance to show signs of self-refutation.
And while Omnia did release select DMs out of the conversation, it was originally done to keep everything else private and only use the relevant information, e.g. Tobi's hypocrisy. Omnia only released the full DMs after Tobi accused her of manipulating the context to fit her narrative.
So Tobi said that Omnia left out context, and in response to that, Omnia leaked her private story, and this somehow puts Tobi in the wrong for being upset. Okay.
Then Tobi escalated things again. Omnia and Kai never called Tobi a pedophile. They only said according to your logic, and while this could have been worded more properly, which even Kai and Omnia admit to, Tobi jumped the gun to say that they were framing her as a pedophile. For someone talking about the importance of context, she was not using it.
First, good God, you guys are the last ones to talk about context being important. But more pressingly, if you're willing to concede to this idea that Omnia and Kai could have better worded themselves when explaining that Tobi's line of logic is a bit flawed, then why are you even remotely surprised that Tobi would misunderstand what both were saying?
Then Tobi released her video titled Addressing My Controversies. This only made everything worse. There's a saying that I follow to a T. If you see something and it makes you look bad, giving it attention will only make it worse.
Knowing what everyone else knows about what you did, I really think you should talk about the things people have brought up.
The video was not what everyone expected it to be. When you do something wrong, you apologize for it. Tobi didn't do that. Rather than apologize and take accountability for her actions, Tobi tried to downplay everything. She made excuses out of her BPD, that Kai and Omnia were attacking her for no reason. She blamed everyone else but herself, and granted, Tobi did apologize, but for some minor conditions added in.
I take a personal pet peeve with this mentality. When it comes to describing mental health issues, explaining that it exists doesn't indicate an excuse of behavior, and I'm getting a little tired of hearing otherwise. Especially here, where Tobi apologizes for bursting out to begin with. Bleh.
Tobi's apologies were half-baked. She was apologizing not because she was sorry, but because she got called out.
I really hate it when people say others use their mental illnesses as an excuse. How do you really want people to act? Like they don't have it?
Not to mention her I'm sorries were followed by I'm sorry because other people got offended.
Where?
Or that people took her words the wrong way.
Where?
She never addresses the root of these problems. Herself.
Where?
Following all of that, Kai made his video responding to Harsh and her points of criticism called Not So Harsh Opinions, For Harsh Opinions, My Response. This started a snowball effect because Harsh has friends, and those friends also made videos about the situation.
This is where manga comment comes in via the comment section of Kai and Harsh's videos. There are some things to be said about manga's comments, but we'll get back to it when we talk about manga specifically.
Yes, he made jokes! Oh no!
Hopeless Peaches also popped into the drama at this time and even had thoughts of making a video on the topic. She has yet to do so as of writing the script. Like manga, there is more to Hopeless Peaches' comments to be analyzed, but we will go more into depth later on.
Oh goody, can't fucking wait for that train wreck.
The key point to note here is that Hopeless Peaches was a friend of Tobi and not a friend of Omnia's. Friendship is a two-way street.
Excuse me? The fuck does this mean? Moreover, what does this have to do with anything? Like, yeah, maybe Peaches was friends with Tobi and not with Omnia. So?
Now, this is when the drama was starting to slow down a bit. Tobi stopped acknowledging the situation, her sub count continued to drop, and the only people who were making videos were those reflecting on the situation, like Thuman. Everything was quiet.
Then Jar happened.
Luke did a video on the drama like 3 weeks before me. Sorry that I don't make videos in 2 days like he does.
I do.
Yeah, Jar uploaded a video collaboration titled Tobi Drama featuring Manga Comment and Fuchsia Butters with one of the people that I am very certain didn't make things worse for them. The video was not good in the slightest. Not only was the editing atrocious, it had incorrect screenshots shown, horrid arguments, and obvious bias in favor of Tobi.
I'm joining in because Tobi is my friend.
I can't stand this. Like, yeah, people have biases. As Raven over there pointed out earlier, we all do. So? Aren't you, Junkie, at the very least, doing this at least in part because you were friends with the likes of Thuman, Kai, and Omnia? Like, get real. This shouldn't be merely a point of dismissal because Tobi's friends were willing to protect her from claims that they thought were wrong.
We'll be touching upon that collab in a bit, but the important fact to note here is that Jar's video revived the drama.
Oh my god, that's not an argument. I've talked about tons of dramas before this one, long after they were over, and no one ever said to me, "You're reviving the drama." People even made more videos on Tobi after this that had nothing to do with my video. If I was just shitting on Tobi, no one would be using this point. But now I'm reviving it for real.
Disclaimer, we're not actually reviving the drama, we just have problems with this video. This joke was brought to you by Sarcasm Incorporated.
BPD, or borderline personality disorder, is a mental disorder that results in an unstable emotional personality. People with BPD can have strong emotional reactions to triggering events, which results in a generally unstable state of life. They can suffer from depression, anxiety, and a sense of despair that can lead them to disassociate from reality. BPD is a serious mental illness. Tobi does not treat her condition seriously.
Hi, yeah, so I want to pop in here for a bit as I was editing, because I don't think I like this narrative that was spun around Tobi using her BPD as an excuse for behavior she totally took responsibility for when you read the messages that she put. But I hate it even more when we have Raven here sending out this notion that Tobi doesn't take this disorder seriously, as if she has, like, any authority to say this. Like, I know whose platform I'm on and how much I'd hardcore get labeled as an SJW for using this term, but, like, genuinely, am I the only one who finds this a little ableist? Like, Tobi lives with that disorder, unless you're insinuating she doesn't? Like, just because she'll acknowledge that as a reason she acts the way she does, it doesn't mean she doesn't take it seriously. Whatever. This was just a wandering thought I had while editing that I wanted to put out there because it was seriously bothering me. Maybe I'm off base, but this is just my 2 cents while editing. Back to the video.
But it does explain to a degree her behavior. Tobi has also been suffering from grief. Her dog passed away, and mixed with BPD, her emotional state is most likely awry. She could have misunderstood the situation, and she did delete one of her videos and made her receive backlash. Her original Creepshow art video, just mind you. Does this excuse any of her behavior? No! Tobi needs to apologize and actually mean it. No, I did it because of blank, or it's because of my BPD excuses. She needs to actually make an apology reflecting upon her horrible behavior towards Omnia, Kai, Ben, Trench, and countless others. Other people have admitted their wrongs. It's not that hard. It's about time that Tobi takes responsibility for hers.
So, effectively deplatforming herself isn't good enough? Like, she had deleted her Twitter and went radio static at least 2 months before your video, presuming it was out in January because, honestly, I can't recall. I'm not sure what else you're expecting at that point. Maybe you see this as avoiding responsibility or running away from the problems, but that's really the thing, isn't it? Like, you'd only be making assumptions as to what Tobi had been doing by that point, especially in retrospect now that she's been radio silent for roughly a year as of Jar and I's script. Well, I say that, but, post-point, that didn't stay true. We'll get back to that.
Get help, Tobi. If your BPD is controlling your life to this point, get some actual professional help.
You have no way of knowing she wasn't at the time. Shut your face holes.
Anyone who says, "get some help," doesn't really mean it. Also, now that she doesn't have YouTube money, she's less likely to afford it.
Now, you're probably wondering, who is this guy? Well, Toasty Vanilla is a YouTuber and a friend of Tobi. He was also a founding member of the Fruitcake Club. He was the person that invited Tobi into the server where her drama with Ben began to escalate. He knew Tobi before any drama went down. They were good friends and are still on good terms according to Toasty.
Junkie used to be friends with someone that he backstabbed? Wow! Never heard that one before. Except for me, Manga Comment, He Did Mystery, Officializer.zip, and others.
Also, word is from other people who were friends with Tobi at the time, but apparently Tobi and Toasty weren't really that close. I guess it's more a you just kinda have to trust me moment, but I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have wanted you to lump them in like that. Now, before anyone gets it twisted and brings up how these two were both in the Fruitcake Club, so were Jar and I. And while scripting, Jar didn't even remember being there or who Toasty was. And I can definitely say, while we had our late night ha-has, and I definitely didn't mind talking to him, I can definitely say I wasn't super close enough with Toasty either.
Trent came to Minty about the situation because it was practically breaking him down. No one else believed him. Until people were calling out Tobi, everyone else was on her side. Trent was just alone.
This is why it is important to look into both sides of a story. In retrospect, Trent is the obvious victim, but people were treating him like the offender. Tobi straight out blackmailed him, and Trent even said he could have pressed charges, but people flocked to Tobi instead. Tobi has made a habit of twisting narratives by pushing blame onto others because of leaked DMs. But what's worse? A leaked DM or an actual threat? The choice is obvious. So try not to draw quick conclusions like Junkie did.
Oh, for God's sake!
Sure, the thing you made up is worse, but that's not an argument. And it was a leaked private story, not just DMs. But even then, something that's bad doesn't stop being bad just because something was worse.
Ben the Looney is an artist and a close friend of Trent's and Minty. He was invited into the FCK server by Trent because that's what friends do. However, he started getting into some hot water when people in the FCK found out about a sketch he made of OKKO that was explicit. Things escalated when Tobi began to claim that he was drawing child porn. It got really bad to the point that he eventually just walked out of the server. Things were quiet for a while until Ben decided, fuck it, and posted the drawing online anyway. Now, I understand where he's coming from, but from how bad the situation got, I don't think that was a smart move.
Ben even reflects upon this point later, where he admits that he was impulsive, and that the choice wasn't the best one to make in retrospect.
After Ben posted the OKKO drawing online, the members of the FCK were not too happy with him. This is when Tobi began to escalate things. Again.
Notably, Tobi was not the only one to call out Ben, though from our record, she was the only one to flat out call him a pedophile.
Did I just walk into a parallel world where people like Ben the Looney? I don't think he's a pedo, but he's been bashed by the commentary community long before I even joined.
She even directly adds him, telling her followers to block him. Other members of the FCK did tweet about Ben as well, such as Toasty Vanilla, Fuchsia Butters, Mad Libs, and Slimmers. But their tweets have since been deleted. Tobi also made statements on how she was going to make a video on Ben, but this too was eventually cancelled.
Except she mentioned it in her dog's memorial video. She mentioned it in her dead dog video.
Okay, I will say that's not a good thing, but at the same time, why does anyone care? It's her dog, and it's just a dog. Everyone was acting like she did this in a video about her dead mom. Yes, what she did really wasn't okay, but it's really not that big of a deal. Yes, Tobi shouldn't have talked about drama in a video about her dead dog, but this is more of a, hey, that was a stupid thing to do, not a, oh god, this is the worst thing anyone has done yet.
Okay, how distasteful do you have to be to do something like that? God.
Tobi did not push the issue further than that. However, she still went through with a quick rant about what was classified as CSEM.
It's not quote-unquote CP. Porn requires consent. It's CSEM. And more importantly, it quite literally cannot be drawn. I personally think it's fucking gross. But that doesn't make it CSEM. Even if you ignore or disagree with this comment, Tobi, as a survivor of CSA, please call it CSEM at least.
Okay, so I want to make it clear that I'm not out here dismissing what Ghostbones here might have gone through. But reading this comment, I do raise a brow. It's not child porn because porn requires consent, but children can't consent. That's literally the whole point of why sexual acts with children are a problem. And moreover, why people are so against pedophiles. It's CSEM, child sexual exploitative material. So, child porn. The Department of Justice even literally puts the two terms under the same roof by explicitly stating that images of child pornography are also referred to as child sexual abuse images. Why are we splitting hairs here when it's effectively the same thing? More importantly, can't be drawn. That's also debatable. Different places dictate different statuses for fictional pornography. For instance, places like Canada, Australia, and Norway would absolutely classify drawing pornography as creating it. whereas places like Japan, Germany, and Denmark separate reality from fiction. The United States falls into so many gray areas, it would take several minutes to go over it all, but in a very boiled down way to put it, America's laws are stupidly inconsistent, and while there have been people prosecuted for owning lolicon, there's also been instances of people getting away with fictional CP because, yeah, that tracks. America's laws are inconsistent. Point is, this comment is really splitting hairs when I don't think it's necessary to do so.
There wasn't much that Xena added to the drama aside from just calling Kai a simp. I'm not kidding. That's literally all she added to the whole thing. It's a dumb comment and something that I think she needs to apologize for, but that's pretty much it.
Then why bring this up at all? Good God, this does nothing.
I've been called a simp for Tobi like 86 times underneath my Tobi video. I don't think any of them need to say sorry. I would also now call Kai a lot worse things than just a simp. Doodletones?
Yes, Jar?
Does something smell like spoiled milk to you?
You mean other than this segment?
Helpless Peaches, YouTube personality, ex-friend of Tobi's, and did a lot of fucked up shit. I mean a lot.
So to be brief, because this is not the time or place to be diving into her drama, Helpless Peaches is currently facing a hill of evidence of her using her depression as a scapegoat, lying about other creators, and being an overall rather toxic and manipulative person.
I think you mean a lot of allegations. For someone who keeps telling others to look at both sides, you really dropped the ball on this one. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I believe some of the stuff about Peaches, but I only believe 3 things about her. But what I did myself was not okay. And unlike a lot of the things I've said sorry for, I really mean it when it comes to Hopeless Peaches. I wish you could do the same, Mr. Red Dragon.
Camilla and creepshow art of some of Peach's victims.
Well, while I'm not super familiar with Camilla, Creepshow fucking retroactively kneecaps a lot of what this segment is starting with, considering the shit that came out about her being rather manipulative and having a rather concerning habit of blatantly lying about other YouTubers to start shit. Mind you, again, this is looking back on things, so it's not inherently a strike against Junkie, but in retrospect, it does kind of put into question a lot of their allegations towards Peaches. I'm glad we don't actually have to go through those in this video, though.
If you want a more in-depth analysis on this topic, watch Prismmate Luke's video on the matter. He discusses it much further than we are, and even interviews Peach's victims as well.
Well, I think I found that milk, and it's gone really bad. For an in-depth video about Luke, watch my video, which has my best thumbnail of all time, all thanks to Hopeless Peaches.
Just to give context though, Hopeless Peaches has a history of lying and manipulating others. She has slandered Camilla as a non-crediting art thief and profiteer despite the facts presented. Camilla never made a dime off the poster, and she also credited Hopeless Peaches on DeviantArt and the Speedpaint on YouTube. It literally credits her everywhere. Hopeless Peaches' signature on the collab poster is also there, and it is visible, it was never covered up, and it's the same size as Camilla's signature.
Yo, hold up though. What does this got to do with Tobi? Like, you guys even said that you weren't gonna go over the Peaches drama. Why then are you going over the Peaches drama? This is about Tobi and what those around the situation did in retaliation to the situation surrounding her, not what Peaches did in her own drama.
It's funny that Junkie will tell other people they have to say sorry for calling someone a simp, but he won't say sorry for this, or all the other shit he has done.
Camilla has her own story, and we'll be linking resources down in the description below and on the top right.
Omnia and Shannon have also made their own videos on their experiences with Peaches as well, so give them a watch when you can.
The victim we'll be addressing in this video is Omnia. She is one of 2 people who were greatly criticized by major members of the commentary community due to their original video on Tobi. Omnia's videos did not have faulty arguments, but a majority of the criticism on her were ad hominem. She did have some petty behavior that she has since apologized for, which is where Hopeless Peaches comes in.
Peaches claimed that none of the apologies given throughout the drama were genuine. Her reasoning behind this was the fact that she personally knew Omnia. Mind you, the comment was towards Kai, Omnia, and Tobi. So you must understand the utter confusion Kai and Omnia must have felt, because they only spoke to her for a few months!
Okay, she still knew Omnia enough outside of the video she did. God, like, yeah, maybe they weren't super close. Maybe they weren't friends, but I'm looking at all of this in hindsight asking, what was the point here? Like, if Peaches and Omnia were talking for months prior, it would be safe to say that Peaches knows more than the average viewer would, so her claim is still technically accurate. Plus, if I can go back a few screenshots, I'm not sure I like how you explicitly say Peaches was dismissing all the apologies as disingenuous, when your own screenshot doesn't prove that. She does say that they need to apologize properly, but she never explicitly said that they were disingenuous. I really begin to wonder how you keep messing up with these screenshots this frequently.
Even then, who cares? They said they knew them, the other person told them to stop, so they did. What's the problem?
Hell, Peaches barely even spoke to Kai. She only spoke to Omnia. Kai even had to call her out on this.
So you would think that after Omnia called out Peaches for speaking on her behalf, that Peaches would back off, right?
Oh, if only that were a reality.
Instead, Peaches began to thread her replies with Omnia about how she thought that they were friends, that Omnia shouldn't be friendly with people like her or Tobi if they aren't friends. She also goes on to mention that she was not speaking on either of their behalves, despite Omnia's refutation.
What? Repeating a statement that has been argued is a refutation now? Well, there's another reason I can add to why I refuse to trek into this subsect of the CC.
Peaches then switched the script and said that her evaluations of the drama were all personal opinions based off of prior interactions with Omnia, Kai, and Tobi.
Because they are? Hopeless Peaches was just talking like most people do, if not nicer. The fact that Omnia even had a problem with this at the same time as Luke's and Creepshow's videos came out, do you not think Omnia was just jumping on the bandwagon?
Oh look, people don't like this person I don't like. I'm going to see if I can find any problem I have with them.
I would also like to call back to this insinuation that Peaches was talking on behalf of Omnia, Kai, and Tobi, because literally where? Like, even though I'd argue her dismissal of the apologies given is a strenuous point at best, I guess I can see where you get the idea with her saying that they do need to apologize properly. But I can't, for the life of me, understand where this conclusion that Peaches was speaking on behalf of people comes from, when her saying that she thought both sides were bad and needing to apologize from her own experiences. Like, wouldn't speaking on behalf of someone entail that you're speaking in place of them? Like, that's not this.
She also tried to deflect the topic by honing into the word personally in relation to Omnia saying that Peaches did not personally know her, regardless of whether or not Hopeless Peaches and Omnia were personally close friends, which they were not. You can't just throw people under the bus without actually talking to them. That's called lying.
Now that's what I call the pot calling the kettle black.
You guys literally clarified that they were talking for months beforehand. What lies? Goddamn, this is dishonest.
Hopeless then went on to make various other comments on the situation about how she thinks the drama is stupid.
It was though.
How both Omni and Kai are acting stupid and how they need to apologize properly. Gee, I wonder what your definition of a proper apology is, Peaches. I love to know.
Oh, and she did remark that Tobi wasn't genuine either, but she zeroed in on Omni and Kai during that fiasco.
Let's not forget that she deleted that comment when two of them called her out. Totally doesn't make you look the least bit suspicious.
Don't forget to mention the other countless comments she's been deleting on YouTube and Twitter.
Twitter too? God, why am I not surprised?
She was being harassed, like, a lot, and Kai has deleted his Twitter like 6 times, so I don't know what you're on about. But it's also funny because you deleted this video.
I too find myself looking at this point with an eyebrow at least raised a smidgen, because with the initial comment being deleted after talking with Omnia and Kai, why is that an issue? Like, you frame it as much more of a malicious thing than it reasonably is with her initially rescinding the comment supposedly speaking on behalf of others. Still a crock of, by the way. Which then leads you into talking about, without more delicate words to describe this, a stress-filled panic. The whole thing just comes off as pretty sketchy to me, especially with the already addressed well poisoning from the earlier tangent regarding her separate drama.
Yup. Peaches made various tweets regarding the drama. She talked about how she was receiving hate despite never making a video on the drama. She said that people were calling her racist because of the drama. She even made tweets on how she was going to make a video on the drama. Of course, these were all subtweets never actually naming Kai, Omnia, or Tobi, which just adds another level of passive aggressiveness on top of the entire thing.
That alone is just petty and suspicious as fuck.
She was being called racist. She did get the most hate, even more than me, despite not even making a video on the drama. Also, subtweeting is not a bad thing. If you're pissed off by a subtweet, then you're the petty one.
Nezzy is yet another factor on the Tobi drama, where most of her involvement are tweets. One of them being a comment she made where she compared Omnia to Madam/Princess Ash. Now, I do think that this comment was not necessary in the slightest, but I kind of get where she's coming from. Let me explain. In the terms of what had happened, yes, both people shared private stories, and that's where similarities end, however, because Omnia never shared someone's personal stories about sexual assault. She never used it as a scapegoat to treat the victim like absolute crap, and the most important factor here is when Omnia found out that it was a private story, she ended up censoring a part of the DM that shared the private story. Nezzy, isn't that a good thing that Omnia fixed the mistake that she made?
We're going to acknowledge the fact that Nezzy made this comparison before Omnia blurred out the screenshot, or...
Yes, it's not as bad as other things that have happened, but it's a comparison. People were comparing me to Sonic 93 during the Tobi drama as well. But you don't have a problem with that, do you?
To bounce off of your point there, Junk, we're talking about intent. Madame leaked her DMs with Slimmers because she wanted to hurt Slimmers for calling her out. That was malicious. Omnia released the DMs to clear her name after Tobi accused her of being a liar. The only way she could have cleared her name was to release the entirety of the conversation. It was honestly only a matter of time.
I think the problem with Nezzy's involvement is her overall bias against Omnia. She made it very clear who she was siding with, and her comment about Omnia did not help either.
We're going to acknowledge how Nezzy's involvement only happened after Omnia and Kai initially misconstrued a subtweet to be about them, or... Come on, Junkie, get your time frames right.
While I know she was only trying to help a friend and all, making these types of accusations carry a lot of weight, and if used incorrectly, can absolutely destroy someone's own livelihood.
How so? You just make this point without explaining why, or how.
So, it's only the one flimsy comparison to the Madame situation then? That's it? Good God, why is this just nothing? Seriously, is one sentence all it takes to get involved in a drama nowadays?
Fuchsia Butters, friend of Tobi's and one of the two collab partners with Just a Robot. They were a member of the Fruitcake Club and had their own share of drama, one of which was some similar drama that Toasty dealt with where she had minors in her NSW server.
More specifically, she had minor admins moderate the porn chat in her server, where various images of underage porn, lolly and shota, were being shared. Her defense of this... There was an age restriction on the chats, so minors weren't supposed to be in there. Except her admins, who were minors.
Once again, we're going off on unneeded tangents that only really serve to preemptively poison the well around the individual in question. Like, I know Weave might have alluded jokingly to retroactive events of other people, but that's the thing. They've been jokes. We both would be willing to concede to a valid point by someone we don't like if the need arose. And these jokes are more just for potshot value. Junkie and Raven have so far brought up other allegations to undermine the individual before even going into their involvement with the drama.
Careful, Doodletones. You might bring up your past dramas.
Yikes. Also, let's not forget to mention she made quite a number of tweets towards Omnia and Kai. So much so that a lot of their tweets come off as really... tone deaf. I say that because no, Fuchsia, the reason why people are cutting Omnia some slack here isn't because she's got the popular opinion. It's because Omnia has proven many times over that she can handle the heat and knows when to back off.
After doing the video on Hopeless Peaches, the last of which had to do with subtweeting, this point hasn't aged too well.
Also, just in general, that really isn't a justifiable excuse, Junkie. The conversation from Fuchsia's end is about whether or not people care about another's mental health, and the use of mental health as a scapegoat, calling out specific people who claimed Tobi didn't care about someone's well-being, whilst calling out those who also didn't care for Tobi's. I guess you claim that Omnia knows when to back off, and that's where the crux of your comparison comes from, but that still wouldn't properly argue whether or not she cared about Tobi's mental health, with possible escalation. Just that she's a little more lax about pushing the drama further. Like, I get the sentiment, but the point is just shaky.
Another commentator of the drama was Minty Shit, or Mineral Garbage. She was a third-party observer in the Tobi drama regarding Kai and Anya, but also a friend of Ben and Trent. Minty's video, Tobi Majestic, the shit that just ain't it, was more focused on Tobi's previous actions and behaviors, such as with the Ben drama and the Yaoi drama.
Yeah, not a lot of people were covering this topic. It had been mentioned briefly by others in the drama, but Minty gave the full context.
Where Kai and Anya only merely mentioned the Yaoi drama that Tobi had been in, Minty went fully deep into that rabbit hole. In her video, she outlined a history of Tobi's behaviors and her actions in a group called the Fruitcake Club, a running motif you might have noticed throughout this video so far. Ben Galoni, Trent, Tobi, Toasted Vanilla, and various of the commentators in the drama were a part of this tightly knit circle. It was a larger server for the commentary community, but it had an inner clique of users who were friends with Tobi and Toasty.
Everything started with the Fruitcake Club.
People in the FCK had seen Ben's drawings on Twitter, and a sketch of his OKKO drawing, the drawing that led to Tobi calling him a pedophile, which, led to people talking to Toasty, which led to a confrontation in the group chat, where things escalated. Minty also mentioned how Tobi escalated the issue across platforms, directly naming Ben in tweets and in her YouTube community chat. On the same day that Tobi accused Ben of being a pedophile on Twitter, she also tweeted out recommendations of her favorite yaoi.
Once again, no one fully knows the age of their audience 100%, but it is irresponsible to just share this type of stuff when there could be minors watching. Not to sound like a Karen, but this is practically recommending porn to minors, Tobi.
Shut the fuck up, Karen. If Tobi's targeted audience isn't kids, then it isn't her fault.
I was looking at porn when I was 14, and most people looked at that when they were even younger. Oh no, a kid might see something they shouldn't see. Good God, everyone I know has become an old fart.
Don't forget the fact that Tobi tried to send over minor fans to bait Minty.
Question. How do you know Tobi sent that individual after Minty? Like, it's obvious this person was more of a shitstirrer in this situation and definitely looks like a fan of Tobi's, but you don't show any evidence proving that Tobi sent this anon after Minty herself.
Okay, so we're finally at Kai. To inform anyone who does not know of Kai or his role in the drama, Kai made his first video about Tobi back on June 24th. He then went on to make a collaborative video with Omni on her channel where the two discussed Tobi's hypocrisy, toxic behavior, and lies.
Kai's main argument in the video was about the hypocrisy Tobi exhibited in her community. She supported Shane Dawson, who we all know is controversial, awful, disgusting, hypocritical. Do we really need to explain this again? But she also undermined his actions, saying that it happened a long time ago, that he had changed, even saying that he had already apologized. You can see how supporting Shane and Tobi being a BLM supporter and LGBTQ+ ally doesn't exactly mesh.
Tobi also made direct accusations on Twitter, calling Ben Galoni a pedophile. She also made a video on YouTube discussing CP, where she ridiculed a CSA survivor and made a vague definition of what actually classifies a pedophile. If you can't tell, I'm not happy. Kai specifically targets Tobi's logic and reasoning in this. The most infamous refutation of Tobi's claims was Kai's according to your logic argument, which was misconstrued by various other members in the drama to be accusing Tobi as a pedophile. Kai did nothing of the sort, but because of poor wording and biased viewers trying to pick apart his arguments, the rumor was put forth. Kai even clarifies in his videos that neither he or Omnia think that Tobi is a pedophile, only that her logic is hypocritical, because she drew similarly sexually explicit images of minors like Ben. Commentators like Nani, Harsh, Jar, Fuchsia, and Manga have all made points on this.
Hello, Editing Jar here. Yes, we did all make points on this, but with the way she words it, it's hard to tell what she's saying. Yes, we did all make points on this, but it was that Kai wasn't calling Tobi a pedo. I just want to make that clear, because to some people it may sound like we were making points like, Kai called Tobi a pedo, when none of us said that.
Which Kai has taken into consideration as valid critiques.
I don't recall Kai taking that into consideration, but Kai has just gotten worse and worse over time. I don't think I need to say how.
Of course, that doesn't mean every point they made means that their videos were flawless. Fuchsia being a prime example, as their involvement in Jar's collab video was nothing but hostile.
Kai also has made various other videos on the drama, as the situation began to escalate. He made a response to the drama where it began to grow on Twitter with Madlibs, Tobi, and Nazi Monster, a response to Harsh's video on the drama, as well as a response to Jorah's collab video.
And might I continue to stress how much getting onto Libby and Nezzy's case was beyond unneeded? Like, even if you disagree with their actions or stances, Kai and Omnia were supposed to be focused on Tobi. The beef they had was between those three, not the two outsiders who were doing their own thing. Sorry, I get that I myself might be coming off as a tad repetitive here, but like, this was the part that I thought was objectively the dumbest.
Kai did have some petty parts in the drama, one of which was his passive-aggressive comment regarding Harsh.
Harsh, Friendliness does not give you an open invitation to tell someone something personal. I don't know if you practice normal social cues, but that is one of them.
It was most likely a joke, as Kai never really responded to an interview, so we can only speculate here. Needless to say, the remark was a little harsh, and it came off as passive-aggressive.
Note, Kai and Omnia were stressed throughout this entire drama. They were small channels growing as their names developed notoriety. You have to imagine the stress someone goes through when a wave of big-time channels like Nani, Madlibs, and Tobi begin to go against you and ridicule your intelligence.
Oh yeah, sure, tell us all about it, while also ignoring the stress Tobi might have felt having people within her viewer base turning on her. Please, do go on.
Harsh is and was a small channel at the time. But imagine how Kai and Omnia must have felt having Creepshow, Thuman, and Prismate Luke defending them.
That's no excuse for the passive aggressiveness shown from both sides. However, it is understandable from where Kai is coming from.
Kai has apologized for these comments, however, and has announced that he, Omnia, and Harsh have talked things out. Good for them.
Kai and Harsh have since both taken down their videos on each other. Notably, Kai and Omnia have been apologizing for their actions and misunderstandings throughout the drama, which shows their maturity and rationality as the situation has been going down.
The only things that Kai did wrong in the situation was the poor choice of wording and petty remarks. Other than that, the guy's track record is pretty spotless.
That one didn't age quite so well.
Honestly, I wish other people involved in the drama would have taken the initiative to be the bigger person and apologize for what they did wrong. Kai has shown great integrity and responsibility through all of this. It's a testament to how Kai and Omnia have been reacting to the drama compared to their larger counterparts, like Tobi.
I just really want to put this out here, that y'all continue to get onto the cases of people in this drama for being biased because they were friends with Tobi, but considering the Trent and Kai segments, I really can't help but notice quite the significant bias on your end in favor of those who spoke out against Tobi. Like, I can't be the only one, can I? Like, they give on these big spiels talking about how mature Kai was or how wronged Trent was, and like, even if these statements are true, at the end of the day, I don't know if I'd say it's manipulative, but it sure hits different, and I don't like it.
Omnia was a fan of Tobi, who made a collaboration video with Kai on her hypocritical behaviors. As a result, a huge drama ensued.
Not any fault to Kai or Omnia, of course, but because of Tobi's reactions and her friends chiming in on the matter.
I mean, it does take two sides to make a drama, an instigator and a reactor. Look, all I'm saying is, despite how much you both will conveniently overlook what they did do, Omnia and Kai did play as much into this drama as Tobi did. Let's not act like they did nothing at all now. Even if we were to give the benefit of doubt and say that they did significantly less than what Tobi did, right? Like, even if we were to go that far, Omnia and Kai didn't have to make the video calling Tobi out on hypocrisy. They didn't have to respond to everyone making videos on them. They didn't have to bring it to Twitter. Like, even if these aren't that big of issues to you, they are still actions that partook in this drama and ultimately prolonged it. And to act like it didn't is dishonest at best.
Because of that, the drama blew up.
Omnia had good intentions with her video. She outlined the hypocrisy that Tobi continues to portray online, but things didn't pan out the way they intended.
Kai and Omnia pointed out how Tobi portrays herself as a BLM supporter and an LGBTQ+ ally. However, Tobi's actions completely go against that. She supports Shane Dawson, who we already mentioned, and has made extremely rude and honestly transphobic comments to her own fans.
Apparently, liking Shane Dawson means you don't think Black Lives Matter.
Who just wanted her to do better.
Look, I know we sound like a broken record here, constantly repeating what has happened. Trust me, we're doing this to keep the story flowing and up to date. That way, in case anyone wants to skip ahead, they'll at least get some idea of what's going on. You know who you are. Let's go over why this fiasco happened in the first place. In her original video, Omnia leaked 2 screenshots of a longer conversation to show how Tobi was hypocritical and supported Shane Dawson.
Following the drop of Kai and Omnia's video, Tobi proceeded to freak out and accuse Omnia of being a manipulative and scummy person who cuts up DMs. Omnia's response? Leak the entire DMs, because how else could she prove that she didn't cut up anything without showing everything? The reason why Omnia leaked those DMs was because Tobi accused her of manipulating them. It's that simple, folks.
However, Tobi wasn't having any of that nonsense. She called out Omnia, saying that she had leaked a personal and private story, and this dragged in Madlibs, Nezzy Muster, and Fuchsia Butters into the drama on Twitter.
Oh my god, no. Madlibs and Nezzy only got involved after Omnia and Kai initially misconstrued a subtweet that Libby posted about Z-Fix's art. You even acknowledged that with Madlibs later on in the segment. Otherwise, Nezzy's comment would have been a passing, maybe slightly uneducated statement. Something that, in general, shouldn't have gotten her lumped into this drama to begin with. And Libby would have most likely kept to Z. Whee!
Thuman is a third party who responded to the whole ordeal with her video titled Art Commentary Channels Do Better.
You've got to do better, Senator.
Where she addresses many of the people involved, like Harsh and Nani. She did have some small comments regarding Manga Comment and how he wasn't taking the situation seriously. However, Thuman did not handle her criticisms against manga in the best way.
Thuman wasn't malicious like some of the people we have mentioned throughout the video, but she did not show evidence of Manga's behavior and instead implored the audience to look into it themselves.
This is why I got involved. MK just left a few comments, and Thuman said things that were just not true. She said things like Harsh and Nani were massive friends of Tobi, who defended everything Tobi did.
That was naive of her. Did she mean for manga to receive hate because of it? No. She never called anyone racist either. That's all on the audience. Thuman's one mistake: trusting the audience.
Thuman also called out Hopeless Peaches' erratic and obsessive behavior, such as claiming Omnia and Kai's apologies were ingenuine, that the drama was stupid, etc.
We're not talking about Peaches again. That's it for her. The point of Thuman's video, the thesis of it all really, was to bring awareness to the community that throughout the Tobi drama, smaller creators like Kai and Omnia were being pressured by bigger channels like Manga, Nani, and Hopeless Peaches. The purpose of her video was to point out that they have a platform as larger creators, that they need to understand the consequences that their comments may have in a drama, especially as explosive as the Tobi drama, when they were not involved.
Thuman acted like people were attacking two small black creators in the commentary community, which caused people to dislike bomb Harsh's and Nani's videos. And Harsh is smaller than Kai or Omnia. Thuman was also much bigger than most of the people she talked about. Yes, me, Nani, and a few others do have a lot of subs, but we weren't getting the same amount of views as Kai, Thuman, and others were getting at the time. For the love of God, Luke was getting 100 to 200k a video around this time.
Personmate Luke. He's a gaming commentary channel that has commented on the Tobi drama in the past. He helps spread awareness on the matter and even looks into the yaoi drama, blackmail debacle, you name it. He was also one of the two people who called out Jar in his questionable call-out video with Manga and Fuchsia. While it does a relatively good job pointing out the problems the video had, there's also some issues in this video as well.
For one, Luke made comments on Harsh. Now, Harsh's video was bad, like bad, but Luke confused some aspects of the drama here. He kept saying that Harsh called Kai a simp.
He also just wrote off Kai as nothing more than a simp.
She called him a white knight. Close, but no cigar, Luke.
Okay, yes, she called him a white knight. But the bigger problem is he said that she wrote off his entire video by saying he was nothing more than just a simp. Do I really need to go over with how that's a problem? The video was over 40 minutes long. Do you really think she did nothing but call him a simp for 40 minutes?
As for the Peaches bit, now, originally, I was pretty annoyed by his...
Well, you say how you're going to be taking a break from the drama and comments and all that, which is fine. If you need a break, you need one. I'm not saying you don't have mental health problems, but you would constantly come back to post more things and beg for sympathy. And when you were getting genuine criticism for all the garbage you've done, you decided to suicide bait your audience.
Rather questionable wording there, because no one really knows what goes on in Peach's mind, and you outright stating that she was suicide baiting came off as just a tad bit aggressive there. With that said, what the fuck are you doing, Peaches? Why are you saying that you're not going to name the person involved when you already did that? Don't speak on other people's behalves, for God's sakes.
Fucking Christ alive, Junkie. Are we really doing this? Again? You already had your moment to bash on Peaches for her misdoings in the segment on her, and you botched that up as was. Why do you need to recap what we've already heard from that segment a second time, almost in full, abridged? Do You really think your audience has such short attention spans to not be able to pay attention to a video that's organized in the way this one was, and not be able to recall the problems of Hopeless Peaches?
Overall, Luke was just a third party reporting on the drama who defended Kai and Omnia, and honestly, good on you dude. They were coming under some sick fire because of, Tobi.
Ah, but remember, these two have left their biases at the door. I'm certain Jar's gonna have much more to say about this than I do.
Just a Robot. YouTube commentary channel, rather large in the community, and made a very, very fucking bad video on the Tobi drama. It housed Manga Comment and Fuchsia Butters, who were his collab partners. Now, we already laid in on Fuchsia earlier, even commented on how it's a bad idea for her to be a part of the video. For Manga, we'll get to him later. But the other thing that I've noticed about Jar here is how ill-informed he was. For example, when refuting the criticisms of Tobi's Todoroki drawing, instead of going over the miswording that Omni and Kai had, he says he's not a minor, he's 16.
But Todoroki isn't a kid. He's 16, old enough to drive.
I said he isn't a kid! It goes kid, teen, adult. I never said that he wasn't a minor. That's a lie, Junkie, and you know it. Manga Comment even said in my video that we know Kai and Omni are not calling Tobi a pedo. Kai called the guy from My Hero Academia a child, which he isn't. I was 16, and I hated being called a kid, or a child, but my wording definitely could have been better.
Now, yeah, you could argue Jar was splitting hairs a bit here, but the general point was that he never explicitly called Todoroki not a minor, just not a child. Just to solidify that for y'all in the back.
We are skipping ahead because they go on and on about kids not consenting and statutory this and that. But did you all miss the point I said afterwards? Where I said, but Jar, that's the femophilia, not pedophilia argument. And I said, okay, but she didn't draw porn of him. You guys really missed the real point I was making, and I wasn't saying that porn of a 16-year-old should be a thing.
That said, I would like to point out that they acknowledged Jar reflected on this point within this segment, yet still get onto his case about making it to begin with. Because I'll come back to this later.
Don't even get me started on the race comments. Like, I don't even feel comfortable talking about it, because I'm white. Like, yeah, let Wonder Bread over here preach about how racial inequality works.
I'll step in here. For context, I'm Asian, a person of color, but I won't speak for the long list of injustices that African Americans have faced in America. Because seriously, there's a lot. And it's still going on. I can still call out racial insensitivity though, and borderline racism. Jar, I know you don't mean to be awful, but you were. I get it. It doesn't seem fair that Kai can say, quote, you as a white woman, especially since Harsh is half, but her can of worms statement solicited that response.
But Kai did say something racist. If I said, as a black man, you can't say that, he would have flipped his shit. Kai uses the race card all the time to get out of things. Even after he attacked his girlfriend, Omnia. Well, she goes by non-binary pronouns, so I guess that would make them a significant other. Who is also black. Kai is a bad person who got away with doing bad things just because he guilt-tripped people into thinking they were racist. He's a bad person, and if not liking him makes me racist, then I really don't have a problem with that.
The can of worms comment elicited that response. I'd argue it didn't, because even if it was directed at Kai and Omnia, that wouldn't exactly be wrong in retrospect when you consider how big it had gotten by the point of Harsh's video, but maybe I'm the one that's being a bit pedantic this time.
Yours did not. And I really hope I don't need to explain to you why you can't call Kai a racist. Just because Harsh is biracial does not invalidate her miswording that came across to a lot of people, not just Kai and Omnia, as insensitive. Hell, I found it insensitive. Also, your black SpongeBob editing, even if it was an oversight and a mistake by your editor, should have been caught early on in the process. That No matter how you meant it, sounds and looks awful.
Hang on a second, I thought I was white, so I can't tell what is and isn't racist. And Kai has also said a lot of racist things. I fired the editor, and I said sorry, so please stop bringing up Black SpongeBob. It's one image that wasn't made to make fun of black people at all. I really hope this is the last time I'll ever have to talk about this stupid black sponge.
Let's not forget his comments on YouTube and Twitter. There are so many responses he made that just screamed knee-jerk. Like this comment where someone literally calls him out for his biased video. He just shrugs it off and states,
"Oh, Kai is just saying that for points like he always does."
Nice.
Don't forget his Kai is a professional victim comment.
Kai is just a professional victim.
Well, that point of mine aged like fine wine.
Or this other one where he flat out says,
"No one is ganging up on them, but if they keep on going, then your wish will come true."
Well, call me the fairy godmother because that wish certainly came true.
Actually, on that note, didn't Omnia say something similar in a video and you guys just brushed it over because she apologized? I'm just saying that this is beginning to look like some pretty bad double standards.
I get that Nezzy, Madlibs, and a few others didn't make videos on them, but they gave them so much shit on Twitter, dude.
Ah yes, one correction to a misunderstanding and a pretty lackluster comparison on Nezzy's part, and a singular subtweet from Madlibs. The horror. Such dogpiling. Get real.
To elaborate, Jar, you ignore the tweets and YouTube comments from other big channels blindly. I understand not paying attention to these details because they seem like stones in a pond. But until Thuman and Luke made their videos, no one in the community was speaking up for Kai and Omnia except the audience. Hell, Luke isn't even a member of the art commentary community. He's part of the gaming commentary community. There's been some overlap, but the issue is still the same. Miss ZZ, Madlibs, Nezzy, Tobi, Hopeless Peaches, Fuchsia Butters, and Nani all spoke up against Kai and Omnia. That's a long list of people.
And now we have a much longer list of people speaking out against Kai. 3 videos, a few tweets, and some comments really don't seem that bad anymore.
Oh, remember that time we talked about Trent? You know, where we apologize for our shitty behavior towards him? Here's Jar commenting to him where Trent brings up all the shit he went through. Jar's response is,
"Watch the video. There's no opposing side."
Just because I don't go over every little bad thing Tobi did, also not blackmail, doesn't mean I'm on the other side. I'll say it here and now. Fuck Tobi. But also, fuck Kai.
I also want to bring up a remark about Trent's comment. So you insinuate that Jar's video re-sparked some level of the drama against Omnia and Kai, yet also bring up how Jesp and Mari sparked it back up first. I get it, maybe Jar and pals could have been a little less dead set on Omnia and Kai, but I just can't get behind this notion that it was a them problem when you acknowledge the other problems in the room. Especially when Trent also wants to bring up this notion that not only did Tobi, quote, barely watch the videos about her, but also admits that he himself skimmed Jar's tryout. Just, I don't know, this comment feels very half-hearted to me.
Jar, your video did not cover the entire Tobi drama. In fact, you literally just covered Kai and Omnia. And I know you don't claim to cover the entirety, but Tobi has a history of deplorable behavior. You cherry-picked a few videos and a few of Tobi's actions and went with it. Hell, you even defended them. Where's the mention of Ben, or Trent, or maybe even the Yaoi drama? There's a lot of damage here. Apparently none of that mattered to you.
Sorry I didn't go over everything. I thought Tobi was being called out by enough people already. But at least I don't lie about people like you do. Junkie.
According to manga, this video was delayed for a few weeks. How in the hell did you not notice this? Matter of fact, why did you not notice that Fuchsia was biased in the video? They flat out stated in the script that she was doing this for Tobi.
I'm joining in because Tobi is my friend.
One more thing. You've been saying in the comments that you didn't find out that Fuchsia was biased until after the video was released.
This is a lie from Junkie. I already told him about this in DMs, which he said he was going to go over in this video, but he didn't. I added her in, and I didn't realize that she was close to Tobi until after we started, not after the video came out. I've already explained this to you in DMs. I added her in because she worked on the MLP video with me in Manga Common. But yes, It was stupid of me to let her be in the video. She even took out a few of the points we had against Tobi in the script. I just didn't want to ask her to leave because I just asked her to come on the video. And I thought it would be rude to just tell her, yeah, I know I invited you, but now I want you to fuck off.
If I may also bring up a point that I've been kind of sitting beside for the majority of this video, like, if I may, you can be friends with someone and still be critical of them and their actions, right? Like, come on, Junkie, you should remember the Anita video I did defending you. You looked over the script to that, remember? Like, this entire time you allude to how biased Fuchsia was in the video because she admitted to being friends with Tobi, and label that as the crux of the issues that Fuchsia had during this whole video. And like, yeah, that does kind of clarify somewhat of a bias out the gate, but that doesn't actually provide a problem unless their bias was clouding their judgment in the video. Which, spoilers, yes, it was, but that's not my point here. Ultimately, my point is that you should have really better clarified where the problem actually was with Fuchsia being a part of this video, instead of just lazily, and hypocritically may I add, labeling her as biased without any regards to the contents within the video that you especially don't go on to demonstrate within her segment, nor the segment here beyond a couple tweets she made.
But when I watched your response, you said...
And I also didn't realize how close of a friend Butters was with Tobi until we got started on the video.
Jar, did you just shoot your credibility through the roof? Because that does not look good on your part.
But that's not a contradiction, Junkie. Even if what you were saying was true, Jar says in both the comment and the video that he didn't realize how close of a friend Fuchsia was to Tobi. This is just the same statement both times. Stop doing the dumb thing.
Yeah, Jar, if I were to give you the benefit of the doubt, it would have been because you were emotionally impulsive. But there was a period of weeks to cool down before this video hit YouTube. It didn't have to come on to YouTube. I understand you were angry. You seem like a very loyal friend. That is admirable, but this video wasn't. You were not kind. You were rude, and honestly insensitive to a variety of current social issues that did not need to be brought up. You made this political when it didn't have to be. You addressed some of these in your quote-unquote apology, but...
Yes, Jar, you apologized, but you only apologized for some of these things. You even said that you were only going to apologize for the things that you think you did wrong. I mean, it's a start, I'll give you that, but that's still not cool of you, dude.
Kai made this political, not me. Also, saying sorry in a video is more than you ever done.
Alright, so let me actually fully address something that I've been alluding to all segment, because this was one of the parts I think heavily pissed me off the most when initially watching this video, when it came out. Because Junkie and Raven here not only get onto the Triops case for how biased they were in glossing over the things Tobi did, without much elaboration as I've explained before, but when going over the things that Omnia and Kai did do wrong, they preface it with so many disclaimers clarifying that they apologized for coming off as antagonistic and petty, and barely even gloss over it to really any degree. Sure, I guess they still acknowledged it at the end of the day, but when Kai and Omnia apologize for these things, it doesn't warrant much of a mention. But when Jar, and spoilers, they later do this with manga comment too, apologize for the things that they acknowledge they screwed up on, suddenly it doesn't count? This is bad. Stop.
You took the L, mostly, but you still need to learn.
Manga Comment. He's a YouTube commentary channel who talks about various topics regarding video games or just stuff that he's interested in. He's also been going through a bit of a rough patch from what we've looked into.
But he still walked voluntarily into his dumpster fire when he didn't need to.
So how Manga got involved was due to his own replies towards Kai and Omnia in the YouTube comment sections of the drama videos.
They were jokes, both literally and figuratively.
Yes, they were jokes, like he said they were. And he got involved along with me because of Thuman.
Also, and this may just be me being a pedantic word nerd, but if they were literally jokes, then to call them figuratively jokes misses the point. Bah.
Manga only commented on the matter because he thought the drama had been blown out of proportion. So, he decided to input his thoughts through memeing in the comment section, by referencing No Straight Roads and Austin Powers.
I like your sense of humor, Manga, but this was the wrong place and time for any of that. Now, Manga here wasn't really taking any of this seriously because he felt like the drama was a joke. I mean, to an extent, it kind of is, but there are some parts of it where it should be taken seriously.
Manga thought the drama was a joke, because people were taking vague comments made in videos and exaggerating what they said.
Yo, word of advice for future reference to anyone who wants to use comments as a form of evidence in a drama. If the comment has a read more button, click it. Otherwise, we're not getting the full context.
Such as with Harsh's can of worms statement. He started treating the drama with a bit more sincerity after people began to call him racist. Why? Because Thuman called him out for not taking things seriously despite being a larger channel.
Yo, it's almost as if you guys literally just got through saying people were calling him racist. Gee, I wonder why Common would only choose to then take things seriously.
So it's racist not to help every black guy and black girl with drama they have. Did Thuman really have to call him out for making 2 jokes? Me and Manga Common wouldn't have made the video if it wasn't for what she did. And even now, she has taken them down, saying they haven't aged well.
Granted, Thuman really should have just shown the screenshots of the conversation instead of just letting the audience find out for themselves, because it's the internet. People will take almost anything you say to heart.
Once again, Thuman never called anyone racist. That's a rumor mill started by the audience and also spread by Peaches. Should she have given the audience the benefit of the doubt to not overreact?
Thuman did call me racist. As for the other people, she didn't call them racist, but she did say, "You big white creators ganging up on 2 small black creators." That really implies something, don't you think?
Yeah, once race starts getting shoehorned into the conversation like that, it's really hard to look at the situation in any other light. If it's the size of the creators that's an issue, then why bring up race at all?
No, but Thuman never called manga racist, nor does she tell her audience to attack any of the people she covered. That was escalation on the fans' part. But it was because of the racist allegations that manga decided to cover the drama. What a big mistake.
Manga joined in on Jorah's collab video and did not do the best. Granted, his points were the better ones of the 3, but there's still some issues. For example, his comments regarding the legality of DMs.
My time has come. Conversation law, what a delight! So, to address Manga here, he says that he is speaking from the legal side when he calls leaking DMs a scammy thing to do. Now, miswording on Manga's part, but to be brief about it, leaking DMs is a legal matter depending on where you live. In some states, it is illegal to leak DMs or conversations or even record them at all without permission.
Manga Common did say in the script that it was illegal, but I fixed that in the video, because it's not really. And even if it was, almost no one would get in trouble for it. It's kind of like a law that is just there. But now that it's free game to leak DMs in the CC, well, we all know how that turned out for you, junkie. I'm just shocked that your friend didn't call it blackmail.
AKA two-party consent states. In some states, as long as you have consent from one person, including yourself, to record the conversation, it is completely legal. One-party consent. Both Omni and Tobi live in one-party consent states. Which states? I'm not saying because I'm not a creep. Just know that it's legal.
Also, can I just mention how dead inside you sound? I get that you're sick of the situation and you were suffering through a leg injury. Sorry to hear that, by the way. But you didn't have to join in on this video. You could have just let the situation die down and move on.
He was being called racist in accordance with what you two were saying. Like, how many choices did he realistically have? Not everyone wants to take your route to drama, junkie.
For example, I had PK respond to me with a really, really bad video that was obviously emotionally driven. I had a stream where I was playing a game and decided to dive in a little bit. But as I continued to go through the entire response, I thought to myself, what's the point? Ignoring things can sometimes be a good thing. It doesn't solve everything, but in the long run, it's better to just live and let live.
To each their own. But seriously, this could have been a dead horse buried. You even mentioned that there was a period of weeks where the video's posting was delayed. There were so many mistakes in this video, not just from you, but a list of insults from Fuchsia and obnoxious comments from Jar that would inevitably reflect back onto you. Even you said Manga. You may want to at least see a script of whatever the other part of your collab is, because some people will think that you will agree with what the other party will do/say.
There were many delays before this video came out. Time could have been spent looking over issues or to cut out parts that weren't necessary. You could have caught Fuchsia's comments early on, especially since you were the one working on the script. Manga did give me a link to look at the script and oh god. No.
That's a lot of damage.
Hey, this is Future Junkie stepping in with a message. Manga Common wanted me to clarify a few things. 1. Peaches didn't influence the script. Though no one but Peaches has claimed that, but alright.
Also, notice how she says she didn't edit the script because Peaches editing scripts of videos that go over terribly in order to favor her. That's not a new thing.
2. The editing wasn't for any actual points. which no one has claimed except Manga and Peaches.
Because Peaches editing scripts of videos that go over terribly in order to favor her, that's not a new thing.
And 3, that I was in the wrong for sharing it behind his back. Even though he was fine with me sharing the script in this video, just not with Omnia.
And now, we at long last got to the part where he lied about Manga Common. I'm a little shocked that you would do this when the call was recorded, but at least you have friends like Spoctor who will play down your actions. Junkie, you lied. Omnia said that Peaches edited the script for my video, and Creepshow said that she edited it to make herself look good. So no, it's not just Peaches and Manga Common saying this, you liar. He trusted you with it, not thinking that you would leak it to someone that really doesn't like him. It was the script for Manga Common's video before me and Future Butters got involved. This got me a lot more hate from Peaches haters, and made Luke do his video calling me racist. I lost so much because of your fuck up. Kuro the artist even removed the videos he did with me, and he kicked me out of his Discord because of Luke's videos.
So neither Phantom or I contacted Manga when we saw the screenshot. Instead, we sent it over to Omnia because we felt like it was the right thing to do, as we felt that Omnia deserved to know. We still feel that way because it still looks shady as hell, no excuses. However, Manga did want us to note, Peaches did not influence the video whatsoever, but she did correct grammar here and there. Manga also wanted us to clarify that the script was a draft with various renditions which she had actually stepped away from at some time, but was brought back into the project by Jar where final revisions took place. Yikes. I apologize, Manga, for not letting you know about what we found in your script, and we should have came to you for more clarification, but our point still stands.
Manga Common didn't ask you to say sorry to him at all. You could at least say what he wanted you to say and not block him, and then claim that he was blackmailing you.
Peaches should not have even touched the script if she was friends with Omnia as she claimed to be in the comment section. And not to mention, this was only 18 hours after their conversation. She decided in 18 hours to go participate in a script being written against Kai and Omnia.
Okay, Manga Common told you she tried to talk him out of it, but I talked him back into doing it. Also, friends can do videos on one another, and still be friends afterwards.
Plus, you two also just got done explaining how her only contribution to the script was grammar. Like, bro, I don't even know what you want at this point. This is such a nothing comment, if you ask me.
You also misspoke about Omnia Manga, saying that she claimed Peaches wrote, edited, and influenced the script, when she said,
"With the help of Junkie and Phantom, it has come to my attention that Hopeless Peaches helped edit Just a Robot, Mega Common, and Fuchsia Butter's script for the Tobi drama video less than 24 hours after our last conversation." Let me repeat that one more time. Hopeless Peaches helped edit Jar's script for the Tobi drama video 18 hours after our last DM conversation. For someone who likes to claim that they are my friend and they know me personally, you would think she would at least know not to do something as messed up as that. You would think she would know not to contribute to a video that ultimately led to me reconsidering whether or not I should even stay in this community. You would think she would have at least have some semblance of human decency that would make her double back and say, "This might be messed up of me to do, let me not do that." But you know what? She chose to do it anyways, and that's what really, really disappoints me.
And she never stated that Peaches wrote or influenced the script. Peaches said that. And that's her misquoting Omnia.
Manga, did you even watch Omnia's video? I think you can be pretty chill, Manga, but your comments came off as emotionally impulsive and really defensive. Look, it's okay to be wrong. I've made my own fair share of mistakes in this situation. I've made that very clear early on in the video.
Shame when Common came to you about this video after the fact, you blocked him and left every chat he was in. I'm just saying.
You even made up with Kai in the comments. You could have handled this maturely and rationally. Hell, you talked to Thuman and apologized about the misconceptions before this video came out. Why did this video come out, Manga? You even reached out to people to talk in Discord when they reacted badly in the comment section of the video. For a person so willing to talk, you acted like a brick wall. But if you really felt dragged into this, if you felt that you had no passion because of all the shitty things that were happening, you shouldn't have gotten involved. Using this video to clear your name wasn't a valid excuse. Because you never clarified why you got involved. You never mentioned that you felt attacked and stressed from false accusations. Until now. So far, everything you have said, regardless of it being in YouTube comment sections or on Twitter, has been a deflection of responsibility.
Okay, this is really beginning to bug me, because, first, Common didn't necessarily need to explain in the initial video why exactly he was getting involved. Could he have in order to avoid this conversation? I suppose. But if he didn't explain why, then all the audience was really doing was assuming the intent on his part. When asked, he explained. And then you two go to call that deflection? No! That's not how deflection works. Especially the case when you guys acknowledge that he tried to make good with Omnia after the video was released. Like, you two really aren't helping your case here in the slightest, and it's no wonder Common thought y'all threw him under the bus. After this point, they kind of just go over everything again. It's very repetitive. We covered most of the important bits anyway, so we can conclude this segment. I've got my own final thoughts I want to place here because I know some clarifications are going to be needed, and I also want to try to prevent any assumptions on my end that would inevitably get me roped into something that I know I'm not willing to get involved with. Call it preemptive damage control if you want. So let me start by saying I joined in on this not as a drama channel, but as a critic. I found tons of faults within Junkie's video relating to misleading evidence, blatant assumptions, gross double standards, and just in general bad faith statements that really made this video quite a chore to sit through the entire way through. I initially wanted to cover this video when it came out, but hesitated because of how many people probably would take issue with some of my criticisms and hot takes, or otherwise would see me as a drama channel trying to leech off the clout that I would get from it. And I'm willing to admit, if there are things Jar and I messed up on, because it has been about a year, please don't hesitate to correct us if the need arises. I'm only human, and, my memory could be a little bit hazy. There is a lot of, missing evidence from the picture, so, there's a chance we could have gotten things wrong. So, don't hesitate to correct me if I'm wrong on anything. That in mind, there is a second thing I do feel the need to clarify, as I know there is an elephant in the room that needs addressing regarding Tobi's actions at around the time the stuff with Omnia and Kai came out. Tobi releasing, I think this is an Instagram story, maybe a TikTok, I'm not entirely sure, but this was her statement on the matter. And to this I say, Tobi, shove it. While I do think Omnia might have done some wrong in specifically the drama surrounding you, the situation between her and Kai is pretty cut and dry, and furthermore, isn't about you, or Creepshow, or Peaches. This was super unneeded and just grossly tactless of you all around. Blech. This is probably not my platform to say, considering this is Jar's channel, but I do think Omnia does need the support. In any case, I'm done. Jar can have back his stage while I shulk back to my soapbox in the middle of town square. Have a good day, and take care, everyone.
Thanks, Doodletones, and to my fanbase, please leave Doodletones alone. The Pokemon drama was like 4 years ago. Now that's the drama!
But no more cool editing, just my ending thoughts. First off, I want to say that I'm using a script for my videos now. Yes, almost every video I have made, I did it off the top of my head. I'm not that good at scripting yet, but over time, I know I'll get better. Hopefully this will make people stop mistranslating me, because I'm getting sick of it. Junkie, I wasn't that close to you, but I did a video on your channel, and you did one on mine. You let me see your video early on the group that hurt me, and you as well. That made me feel like I could trust you. I found someone who had to deal with similar pain as me, and someone who was going to help me at long last get some closure. By the way, I still have that Google Drive link to that video. If I was going to blackmail you, I would use that, you dumb dragon. All Manga Common wanted you to do was say that Peaches tried to talk him out of it, and that Peaches only worked on the script when it was only his video, before me and Butters got involved. After most of the things that were said about her were proven false, you didn't say sorry to her, you just took your video down and acted like nothing happened. After what you did to me, Manga Common, Hopeless Peaches, Fish Lizard, Heated Mitsuru, and most likely a few more, you still, to this day, haven't said sorry or even tried to fix things. I only said like 3 things about Peaches, and I felt so bad about it. I did what I could to make up for it. I've made 5 videos defending her, and I even gave her all the money my first video on her, the one that was negative, made. And people just think, wait, why would Jar do this nice thing for a girl? Oh, I got it, he's a simp for her! Are neurotypicals' lack of empathy so low that they think a guy will only do something nice for a girl when he wants to get into her pants? I have no romantic love for Peaches at all. I can't even say she's like a little sister to me because I don't know her that well. Junkie, Spoctor talked about your drama. Everyone in the CC knows about it. But you would rather just leave your channel that you worked on for years than say sorry. And the sad thing is, a lot of other people in the commentary community did the same thing as you. I didn't know Luke, Kai, or Creepshow, but I did know you. You are one to betray your friends. Those who break the rules are scum, but those who betray their friends are worse than scum. Yes, that is a line from Naruto. Also, Spoctor, please stop. I like you, man, but please stop playing down what your friends have done. Someone, I'm not saying who, is working on a big-ass long video about the Tobi drama, in full. And they are someone in the commentary community who doesn't make a lot of videos, but when they do, they blow up. Maybe it's Turkey Tom, or The Right Opinion, or maybe it's Down the Rabbit Hole. It's none of those guys, but you get what I'm saying, right? At long last, the truth of how this drama got so twisted will be explained. Spoctor, I still do want you to make that follow-up video to the one you made about Junkie, but, I would wait until this big-ass Tobi video comes out. Not mine, the one the other commentator is working on. I mean, come on! 4 of the winners in the Tobi drama already have shown themselves to be worse than Tobi. Junkie, I've had more videos done on me, and they got a lot more views than some of the videos done on you. Hell, Doodletones has many more videos done on her than the ones done on you. And she's still going strong. I had drama with her, but I never thought she was a bad person. I can't say the same for you.